15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
If you can't make it to the yard to see the Orioles, you're listening to Orioles Baseball on 105.7 The Fan.
And now the Orioles, your top two, nothing game. Right-hander James Shields will pitch to Scott, and then Wieters, and then Felix Piet. So we take a look at Luke Scott for the first time in the regular season. He'll be right-hander against left-hander. Shields, now at the age of 28, delivers to Luke. Swings away, fouls it back out of play. And yet, Fred, at the age of 28, this guy is the old man in the Tampa Bay starting rotation.
Yeah, he's the guy that all the other pitchers look up to. He's not the type of veteran presence like a Kevin Millwood where they say, well, he's the guy that's been around, but this guy leads by example in that rotation.
I mentioned 28 years of age. Here's the pitch to Luke. Is a bit high and a bit inside. In fact, they call him a graybeard in the rotation. And during spring training, James Shields wore a fake gray beard. Around the camp, Scott takes a call strike after a check swing. Last year, he had a losing record on a good ball club. 11-12 last year. Made 33 starts. And his ERA, 4.14. Boy, he gave up a lot of hits last year. There's the 1-2 delivery. Luke takes a break, maybe a changeup, a little bit low. And I'll tell you what, for Scott to take that pitch, he got rather fortuitous when he got the call.
Now, Luke watched that one downstairs and a little bit off the plate as Navarro went just to the left with the glove to catch it.
Well, the count 2-2. Now the next pitch on the way. Luke will take outside. Ball 3. I'll tell you what, Scott has taken a couple of real close pitches here. So the count 3-2 now to the Oriole designated hitter. Mentioned Shields last year gave up 239 hits in the regular season. And now the 3-2 delivery to Luke, and he'll take a walk. I'll tell you what, Scott, with a phenomenal at-bat to get his season started, with the count 1-2, he then took 3 real close pitches and is able to coax a walk. Hey, the first Oriole walk of this game is brought to you by Boardwalk Fries. Stop by their Cockeysville, Lansdowne, and coming soon to College Park. Boardwalk, fresh burgers and fries made fresh every day. Now the pitch on the way to Wieters, and he takes a strike on the inside corner.
Well, Matt Wieters last year hit over 400 in his at-bats against Tampa Bay pitching. And right now the Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the second in this scoreless ballgame.
Nothing game here just getting started. Inning number 2. Scott is at first with nobody out. Shields at the belt. He'll check Scott. And now delivers to Wieters. Matt up there hitting left-handed. Takes the ball in on the hands. Even up 1 ball and 1 strike. And James Shields here tonight making his 3rd consecutive opening day start for Tampa Bay. Last year he was beaten by Boston on opening day. The year before that, it'd be Jeremy Guthrie and the Orioles out there at Camden Yards. So he has gone 1-1 in these openers. Wieters a big swing and a foul tip behind the catcher.
Well, in his career, as we mentioned at the start, he's been successful against the Orioles. He's made 15 starts against the Birds in his career with 6 wins, a couple of losses, but an outstanding ERA that's under 3 at 2.92.
Yeah, he's been real good against the Orioles, but you did mention last year gave up a lot of hits. He also gave up 29 home runs, the 3rd most in the American League. Here's the pitch. Wieters sends a pop-up foul behind the third base dugout. So it is 1-2 now to the Orioles catcher. I mentioned Shields had a losing record last year, 11-12. Now he did give up a lot of hits and lots of home runs, but he also had, I think, the 9th lowest run support of any pitcher in the American League. So for some reason, when he pitched, the Rays just didn't score all that much. Now Wieters sends a fly ball to deep center. Racing back is B.J. Upton, way back, looking backward, and makes a running over-the-shoulder catch, and then spins around after bouncing off the wall and guns it back into second base, and Scott had to scamper back to first. B.J. Upton has robbed Wieters of extra bases And most likely an RBI. What a catch.
Yeah, he was 2 steps away from the 404 sign in straightaway center field when he extended the leather and made the grab on the run and then slammed into the padding.
And now to bring up Felix Piet. Well, that's a great defense. That's at least a double. And most likely a 1-0 Oriole lead. Instead, it's 1 out. And Scott still at first. And now here's Felix Piet, who had a phenomenal spring. Swings and he bounces off the hands of foul ball.
Yeah, what a difference the second spring training made for this young man who came to the Orioles. Remember at Fort Lauderdale from the Chicago Cubs, kind of feeling his way. Beginning of the season last year until really mid-August was not the player that everybody had hoped he would be. And then he got hot, and he continued hot this spring.
Yeah, about a month and a half into the season, he lost his job. And there was some talk in the organization that they might just release him. I mean, he just was not playing good baseball. He digs in, the count 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Good change up there, it looked like. And the count 0-2. I mean, last year, early in the season, he was missing the cutoff man. He was swinging at bad pitches. He just was not playing the game the way it was supposed to be played. And he was benched. And there was some talk of sending him out. But boy, when he came back, he was a much better player. There's a half swing at a high pitch. He could not check his swing, and he was struck out. But he chased a bad one there. But no, that's something we did not see him do the entire spring.
Yeah, much more disciplined. Both strikeouts tonight. One for Millwood. He got Longoria on a pitch out of the strike zone. Now Shields picks up his first strikeout on a pitch shoulders high.
And now here's Garrett Atkins to make his Oriole regular season debut. Right-hander against right-hander. Shields will look at first base. Scott getting his lead there. 0-0 game. Inning number 2. There's a pitch. Atkins will take one right there at the knees. That's a called strike. Infield backed up with 2 outs. And they play Atkins as a pull hitter. Here comes the next offering. Off speed, a little bit too low. Hey, Oriole fans, let Home Savings of America hit a home run for you. Hit a home run for you, that is. Rates as low as 4.99 APR for a limited time. Toll free 1-877 I'll take it. Or homesavings.md.com. Atkins takes low and inside the ball. For the count 2-1.
Boy, wouldn't the Orioles like to see Atkins find that stroke that drove in 120 runs in 06 for the Colorado Rockies. Then he had 111 in 07, but then 99 in 08. And last year, just a terrible year for him, and he was given his walking papers.
And now he digs in, the count 2-1. Shields delivers. Atkins slices one toward right field, but foul. Back in that corner, well foul. So the count 2-2. Good job of hitting there by Atkins, because that ball was up and out away from him. It might have been a strike on the outside corner, but he didn't try to pull the ball. He simply went with it and tried to find that right field corner, but he sliced it foul. So the count 2-2. Shields again sets. And here it comes. Atkins takes low and inside, ball 3. I'll tell you what, Shields, when he has missed, he hasn't missed by much.
Well, already Shields has had a couple of those. I can't believe it looks when he looks at it, home plate umpire Dana Demuth.
No, right now the Orioles are very patient against Shields. So the count to 3-2. Scott's going to be running. Here comes the pitch. Atkins bounces one foul behind the catcher. They'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tampa Bay defensively, Longoria backed up at third base. Bartlett and Rodriguez up the middle. Sean Rodriguez starting at second base tonight. Remember, they got him from the Los Angeles Angels organization in the Kazmir deal. And tonight he starts at second base on opening day. Line drive, but he pulled it foul outside third base. Boy, Atkins got a good look at that one, and it'll stay at 3-2.
And for Tampa Bay, Rodriguez starts at second base. And for the Angels, Scott Kazmir begins the year on the disabled list.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, Carlos Pena on the back at first. Dioner Navarro doing the catching tonight. Crawford, Upton, and Zobrist in the outfield left to right. Shields sets again. Atkins digs in. Here's the pitch. He gets him looking. Strike 3 called. That time he gets the ball on the outside corner. Shields his second strikeout, both in this inning. And so the Orioles, they'll lead off walk, but they do no damage. And now the Rays come up. We head to the bottom of the second. 0-0 on the Orioles Radio Network. All right, Kevin Millwood going back to work. Here we go, bottom of the second, 0-0 game. And for Tampa Bay, Carlos Pena will get the inning started. Pena and then B.J. Upton and then Pat Burrell. And the Orioles defensively against Pena with three infielders to the right of second base. Cesar Izturis out there, the shortstop, right now on the edge of the outfield grass and to the right of second base. Pena hits a bounder toward first, but foul by about 3 feet. Picked up by Atkins, but in foul ground, and so 0-1 the count.
Pena last year, as we mentioned, the co-leader in home runs in the American League along with Mark Teixeira. However, he missed the final 25 games of the season with that broken finger, and when he left, he had a 6 home run lead on Teixeira, and then Mark caught him.
Yeah, they each wound up with 39, but he still led the league. Pena, who says one of his biggest thrills on opening day. Here comes the pitch. Pena popped it up right back towards us, back in the upper deck. So it's 0-2 now to Carlos Pena. It happened on opening day back in 2004 when Pena hit a home run against Roy Halladay. You don't see that happen too often. I mean, nobody does that unless your name is Albert Pujols. Pena in a hole at 0-2. Roy Halladay, of course, is now a National Leaguer. Pena takes a strike 3 called. Boy, he jammed him. Millwood picked up the inside corner, his second consecutive strikeout. Remember, he struck out Longoria back in the first inning with the runner in scoring position. After getting behind Longoria 3-1, he came back and punched him out.
Now, Pena, no stranger to strikeouts. 163 times last season, he had that K in the box in his at-bat.
But that time he struck out with the bat on his shoulder. And now here's B.J. Upton, who in this game has already saved a run and an extra base hit. Little fly ball heading for the right field corner, slicing foul, and a ball that Markakis couldn't get to, so the count 0-1. B.J. Upton. This guy's got great talent. Hard to believe B.J. Upton already in his 6th season with Tampa Bay. He's only 25 years old. Here comes the pitch. Jammed him, and the ball fisted foul back on the net.
And there's still questions about whether he'll reach the plateaus he did in 2007 when he hit 300. And he hit 24 home runs and drove in 82 that year. Since then, it's been declines in the numbers for Upton, and especially last year. It was not a very good year.
And now the 0-2 delivery, fastball up and in. Upton lays off. 1-2 now to B.J. Upton. Now think about Upton. He's just offensively a very inconsistent player, but a youngster with tremendous skills. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled away, just nipped it foul right there at the plate. So it stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, he talked about the strikeouts of Pena. It was 152 strikeouts for Upton last year.
That's the thing about B.J. Upton. If he does get on base, he can do a lot of damage.
Yes.
I mean, last year in the major leagues, he was 111th in on-base percentage. There's a swing and a grounder foul. And yet he still had 42 stolen bases. Even though he's just not on base all that much. One thing about B.J. Upton, and we saw the great defensive play he's made here tonight, he's also a guy that you do not want to run against. I mean, every year he's got a lot of assists. 1-2 pitch. Fouled away again at a ball that was up around the shoulders. It stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander Kevin Millwood, 0-0 game. 1 gone, bases empty, bottom of the 2nd inning. Millwood, who in his career has won 155 games. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Well, ground ball inside the bag at first. Right there is Atkins, and he will run over and get the out himself, and that's out number 2. That time Upton hit that ball off the very end of his bat. The little cue shot, and Atkins handled it. 2 gone.
And now Pat Burrell, a guy who the Rays are waiting to see what he could do. Last year, hugely disappointing when he signed that free agent contract with them. He did not hit well this spring, and now they have Hank Blaylock hanging in the wings at the AAA level. So Burrell, they hope to get off to a good start. If not, we'll see what happens to this designated hitter.
So Burrell, veteran right-hander, digs in. 2 gone, bases empty, nothing game. In the bottom of the second, Millwood's pitch to Burrell is in there for a called strike, a fastball.
And, of course, Burrell not a stranger to Kevin Millwood. Pat Burrell has hit 2 career home runs out of the 6 hits he's had against Millwood, 6 for 23.
There's the 0-1 delivery. That one a little bit too high for a ball. Now, Millwood, of course, originally drafted by the Atlanta Braves back in 1993. In the 11th round, he was drafted. Swung and a foul back to the backstop here. So it is 1-2 now to Pat Burrell. And then 4 years later, Millwood came up to make his major league debut with the Atlanta Braves. And he was on some awfully good starting rotations with the Atlanta Ball Club. Pitching with guys like Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Swung on and fouled away.
And, of course, the Orioles marvel at the work habits of Kevin Millwood, so you kind of figure that he learned from several good guys how to prepare himself for a season and how to work on that hill.
But even as a youngster, this guy knew what he was doing. I mean, in his first full season with the Atlanta Braves, he won 17 games. Next offering is in the dirt. And twice with the Atlanta Braves, he won 18 games in the regular season. Well, he's never been a 20-game winner. He has been a consistent winner. He gives you a lot of innings. He knows how to pitch. And for the young guys in the starting rotation, they've been watching his every move. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Sliced foul back out of play toward the upper deck. Millwood now at the age of 35. And of course, I was fortunate enough to be broadcasting the game when he was a Philly. And he threw a no-hitter against the San Francisco Giants in 2003. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Sliced foul again. Burrell having a tough at-bat. The count stays at 2-2. And now Wieters goes out for a quick visit.
Yeah, Pat Burrell not having good swings at the pitches coming in from Kevin Millwood.
But he's making them work. Well, Wieters, it has turned into an extended conversation with Kevin Millwood. I mean, they're trying to figure out how to get Burrell to swing and miss, which he will do for you.
Yes, he will.
So now Wieters back behind the plate. Nothing. Bottom of the second. Bases empty. Infield backed up here. Tejada is Turris. Roberts, Atkins, third to first. Wieters back of the plate. Pierre, Jones, and Markakis left to right in the outfield. 2-2 pitch on the way. Liner, but he pulls this one foul back in the picnic area in the left field corner.
And we talked about the disappointment for Tampa Bay in Burrell. Remember his final year in Philadelphia, 33 home runs for this right-handed batter. He was playing the outfield then. Last year, just 14 in his first year with the Rays and in the American League.
And now Millwood ready, delivers again, 2-2. Burrell takes a ball that bounces in this time for the count 3-2. And by far for Millwood, Pat Burrell has given him the toughest time so far tonight. This will be about a 9-pitch at bat here. And now the payoff. Burrell swings and misses. He got him. Finally got him. So Millwood wins the battle. But it was a good one. And Kevin gets a 1-2-3. And at the end of 2, it is 0-0 in St. Pete here on the Orioles Radio Network.
Now it's easy to spot the guys who do such a super job you'd swear they wore superhero capes. Guys like
the tree trimmers who don't make you feel like a sap.
Go to
right to Fred Manfred.
Well, thanks a lot, Joe. Switch hitting shortstop Cesar Torres goes after the first pitch and bounces a foul between the coach's box and the bag. Oriole first base coach T-Bone Shelby, now in his third season in that third base coach's box, watches it bounce between himself and the bag. One strike to Torres. Torres had a tough spring. Did not get on track at the plate. Fastball on the outside corner from Shields, 0-2. Hit just 170 this spring. Last year, in his first as an Oriole, hit 256 with a couple of home runs. He's hitting in that ninth hole. The Shields kick and the delivery, and his Tourist takes it upstairs. Didn't chase a pitch, just out of the strike zone. James Shields, a Newhall, Californian, that now lives in the Clearwater area here in the Tampa Bay area. The 1-2 pitch just off the plate outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fans a little upset with Dana DeMuth in his strike zone tonight, as they felt that Shields has gotten some pitches on the corners that not given to him by the home plate umpire. 2-2 pitch to his Tourist, and he shoots a foul out of play off to the left side and into the sellout crowd. And it just sold out here yesterday as they were coming home from a terrific spring training, best in the majors. They went 20 wins with just 8 losses and 2 ties in the spring. Here's the pitch, 2-2, and his Tourist takes a strike 3. This one caught the knees on the outside corner, so 3 consecutive strikeouts for James Shields. He got Pierre and Atkins the final 2 outs in the second, and now the third begins with his Tourist taking strike 3.
Well, as you mentioned, the Orioles are being very patient hitters tonight. I mean, they're taking some close pitches. That time, Cesar, it backfired on him. He thought it was low and outside, but Uri Shields has been on the corners, and right now the Orioles are taking a very patient approach.
Well, Brian Roberts went after the first pitch of the ball game and skied out to Carl Crawford in left field, and the first delivery to the switch-hitting second baseman in there for a strike. Roberts hit .283 last year for the Birds with 16 home runs. Pitch on the way to Bryant. He taps a foul at the plate. So 0-2 to the Orioles second baseman. Mentioned Roberts didn't get as many as at-bats as the Orioles would have liked, and he would have liked this spring, but he started hitting in that Mets game. And here he is on opening day in the lineup. 0 for 1 tonight. The 2-strike delivery from Shields, and Roberts takes it just off the plate outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Roberts has now had 47 career at-bats against this right-hander with a dozen hits. Roberts waving that 2-tone bat, awaiting the 1-2 offering. And Bryant swings and misses, and a high fastball strikes him out. 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Shields. Pierre Atkins is Tourist, and now Brian Roberts. 2 gone for the Birds here in the top of the third.
It's going to take Roberts a few games. I mean, you can see he's still rusty. On that at bat, he chased 2 balls that would not have been strikes. And that's something you don't see Roberts do very often.
Here's Adam Jones. He got a hold of one and doubled with the 1 out in the first inning, but was then stranded at second base. I should say got to third on the ground to first, but he was stranded there. And here's a strike to Adam Jones. Jones, 5 home runs this spring, 19 home runs last year. His first All-Star year, won a Gold Glove in center field. Righty against righty, and the Shields delivery to Jones. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. So Shields has found the groove. He has struck out 4 Orioles in a row. He's ahead of Adam Jones. No balls and 2 strikes. The right-handed batter taps the plate, awaits a delivery from Shields. Shields kicks and delivers, and Jones takes it high. He didn't chase the pitch. Just a little bit out of that strike zone and maybe off the plate a little bit. So 1-2. Shields had 167 strikeouts and 219 plus innings last year. Delivery to Jones, just missing on the inside corner. Again, you hear the fans oohing and eyeing. If Shields is within 4 inches of the plate, they think it should be a strike.
But again, it's good hitting because this is what the Yankees do. It's what the Red Sox do. They make you throw the ball over the plate.
And the 2-2 pitch. Jones bounces a foul toward the Oriole third base side dugout.
Sometimes you get rung up like that, but it does make the pitcher work. It does make him work to get you out. And as we said, other than the first inning, the Orioles tonight have been very patient.
And so far, Shields has thrown 43 pitches, 2 Orioles gone here in the top of the third. Shields gets the sign from Navarro. And the right-hander rocks. Pitch on the way. And Adam Jones fouls it back. Pitch in on the hands of Jones. Fouls it off the netting behind home plate. Blows a bubble as he steps out of that third base side batter's box. And will make Shields wait a little bit as he adjusts his batting gloves before stepping back in the box. Jones is now 7 for 16 in his career against James Shields. Shields ready to deal. 2 gone. Nobody on. In the top of the third, the pitch to Jones, and he reaches for it, protects the outer portion of the plate, and fouls it high in the air down the right side. Well, we saw Pat Burrell have a long at bat against Kevin Millwood before he was retired on a strikeout for the final out in the second inning. And now with two gone here in the top of the third, Adam Jones a long at bat against James Shields.
Well, that's a good at bat here because that was a just live to see another pitch swing.
Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. A high fastball swung on and fouled straight back. That pitch looked shoulders high, and Jones took the cut at it and shot it straight back to the netting.
Well, he'd like to see that pitch again. You can see him. He'll take a short walk. That's a pitch. It was a very aggressive swing, and he was trying to drill it. The previous pitch was just one of those safety swings.
Here we go again. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jones. The pitch on the way from Shields, and Adam takes the breaking ball down and away to run the count full, 3-2. Very tempting for a batter to see that pitch come off speed, but Jones just watched it hit the dirt to the right of home plate.
Well, again, 0-2 to 3-2, so Adam Jones is having a very patient, good at bat.
Jones taps that barrel under the bat on the dish. Awaits the 3-2 pitch with 2 down. Shields on the way with the delivery, and Jones hits a high fly ball deep to right field. Going back is Zobrist to the warning track to the wall. Gone! Home run, Adam Jones. He hits the first Orioles home run of the season. He's had both Orioles hits this season, a double in the first, and now gives the Orioles the 1-0 lead with a home run with 2 out here in the third. So Adam Jones goes deep. He went 19 times out of the ball yard last year, hit 5 springtime home runs, and now gets the Orioles on the board with a home run against Shields with 2 out in the third after 4 consecutive strikeouts. An extended at bat, and it pays off with the Jones home run. Nick Markakis stands in. Nick grounded out unassisted at the first baseman. Takes the first pitch in there for a strike. Well, the sound of the home run brought to you by Chapin Davis Investments. Let Chapin Davis help you hit an investment home run. For more info, call 800-222-3246 or go to ChapinDavis.com. So the Orioles on the board with the first run for either team this season. And Markakis with a 1-1 pitch on the way. Nick, did he foul that one? And apparently so, as it bounces beyond the catcher and the umpire.
Well, no, they appealed to the third base umpire, and he put up the save sign. So
I guess not.
Apparently he did not swing on a ball that did hit the dirt and got past the catcher.
So 2 balls and 1 strike to Markakis, and the delivery, swing and a foul back to even it up at 2-2 to the Oriole right fielder. Markakis started the spring hot, but wound up hitting .254 with a couple of home runs, as the Orioles had their first spring training and a very successful one in Sarasota. 2-2 pitch to the left-handed batter, and Markakis lines a foul into the stands off to the left side.
I'll tell you what, Fred, I cannot get over the at-bat by Adam Jones. Just outstanding at-bat early in the season on opening night from 0-2 to 3-2, and a couple of good swings to stay alive. Then he got a pitch to hit, and he hits one to the opposite field for a home run.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, ball 3 inside. So a second consecutive 3-2 count after 4 consecutive strikeouts, the home run, and now another 3-2 count. Three-two delivery to Nick. Just off the plate outside, ball 4. And again, Shields looks in to Dana Demuth, wanting that one called a strike, but not getting it. Second walk for the Orioles.
And another great at bat. And so far tonight, the Orioles using patience, waiting to get a pitch to hit. Adam Jones got one. Markakis will take the walk.
Miguel Tejada, in his return to the Orioles in his first official season at bat, popped out to the second baseman as he looked at Shields back in the first inning. Miggy hitting in the number 4 hole. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. And the pitch to Tejada right down the middle for a strike.
Right, all this patience. Shields has already thrown 53 pitches in this game.
And of course, one of the actually the Achilles heel of the Tampa Bay Rays will be their relief pitching this year, save maybe for their closer, because Soriano had a great year last year for Atlanta. They expect him to do big things, but in between the starter and the closer could be some trouble. Here's the 0-1 delivery, fly ball, center field, well hit, going back with room is B.J. Upton. He's about 5 feet from the warning track, reaches up and makes the grab for the final out. But Adam Jones belts one, and the Orioles have the 1-0 lead. 15th out of Orioles baseball, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit Geico at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. We played 2.5 at the Trop. Orioles 1, Rays nothing on the Orioles Radio Network. Well, thanks to Adam Jones, Kevin Millwood goes to the mound here in the bottom of the third with a 1-0 lead. Adam homering with 2 out in the top of the inning. Millwood goes to work to Sean Rodriguez, the youngster, second baseman. As Joe mentioned, came over from the Angels in the deal that sent Scott Kazmir to Southern California. And he takes ball one, now strike one, 1-1 to Sean Rodriguez. 6 home runs this spring while hitting .460, right-handed batter. And the delivery is in there for a strike 2. Kind of expected Reed Brignac, who also had a brilliant spring training, to be in that starting lineup. He's a left-handed hitter. But the right-handed bat of Rodriguez gets the start, and he takes it upstairs, not chasing a pitch out of the strike zone. And Joe Madden saying he likes the matchup better. Maybe that's because right-handed hitters hit Millwood better last year than the lefty swingers. Rodriguez bounces one toward short. As Torres plays the hop, throws to first, and Rodriguez is out number 1. Leonard Navarro looking for a comeback year. Navarro last year really struggled after a terrific year in 2008. He hit just .218, 8 home runs, 32 knocked in. Remember, they were in such desperate straits for a catcher that they sent word to the Orioles. So the Orioles traded Greg Zahn last year to the Tampa Bay Rays. Zahny no longer here. But Kelly Shopik was acquired from the Cleveland Indians, and it looks like Shopik and Navarro will share the duties behind the plate. Navarro, a left-handed hitter. And the pitch on the way to the chunky backstop, fastball outside. Navarro hit .182 against right-handed pitching last year while hitting .218 with 8 home runs. And the delivery to Navarro, fly ball center field. Off the end of the bat, Adam Jones broke back, now comes in, and it's out of his reach. Well, with the swing, I thought that ball was going to be much deeper, and I think Adam did as well, as he kind of broke back and then saw that was going to be lofted to shallow center field. As Torres went out, he couldn't come up with it, and neither could Jones. So Navarro reaches. That is the second hit tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays. Jason Bartlett will step in now. Remember Bartlett, the year before, in 2008, the MVP for the Tampa Bay Rays. Last year had a club record batting average of .320 with 14 home runs and 66 knocked in. First at bat, the shortstop grounded to Tejada at third base. Righty against righty, and the pitch on the way to Bartlett way outside. Ball 1, breaking ball down and away. Hey, remember, a handful of tickets are available for Friday's home opener, as the Orioles will host the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll give you more information about that as we go through this bottom of the third, with the Orioles ahead 1-0. Now, time requested by Bartlett. You can get your tickets to the season opener if you purchase an Orioles partial season plan. The 1-0 delivery to Bartlett toward the middle and beyond the dive of second baseman Brian Roberts. Ball not hit all that hard as it kind of looped on a line toward second base, and just behind the bag, Roberts, racing to his right, made a dive try for it and couldn't come up with it. So back-to-back base hits, and neither hit all that hard. Navarro stops at second base. Now, for your information about how you can get an Orioles partial season plan and attend opening day Friday, call 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Get your tickets now. It'll be Brad Bergeson for the Birds on Friday and Brandon Morrow for the Blue Jays. Carl Crawford up with runners at first and second. CC lifted a fly ball to his Oriole counterpart, Oriole left fielder Felix Pie, in the first inning. So Navarro, not a lot of speed. The lead runner at second base. Bartlett at first. The pitch on the way to Crawford. Sky toward left center field. Back a couple of steps, waiting and making the grab is Felix Piezo. Twice Pie has handled balls off the bat of Carl Crawford, and that's out number 2. Still runners at first and second. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Orioles Radio Network. Fred Manfred and Joe Angel at Tropicana Field. Orioles lead 1-0 on Adam Jones' home run in the top of the third. Here in the bottom, 2 on, runners at first and second for the Rays with 2 out. And in steps Ben Zobrist.
Well, watching Brian Roberts on the play that he tried to make, diving to his right, landed right on the belly. And the kind of a play, if you got a bad back, that'll make you feel it. I'm watching Brian Roberts, and he's showing no ill effects.
Yeah, that is good news. Here's Zobrist. He doubled his first at bat. Switch hitter batting from the left side against Kevin Millwood. And the pitch on the way to Ben. Zobrist drills one high and deep, but he pulls it well foul down the right side. 27 home runs for Zobrist last year. 18 of them as a left-handed batter. Zobrist just his breakout year. And now the question is, will Ben be able to equal those numbers or maybe surpass them this year? Hit 297, 91 runs driven in. And the Millwood delivery to Zobrist upstairs. Zobrist doesn't chase a pitch up and tight. A ball and a strike. Zobrist, the guy that loves first pitches. And you saw on that first pitch this time, he went after it and drilled it, but pulled it. Now he has a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Navarro at second, Bartlett at first, 2 gone. The Millwood delivery, and Zobrist hits a ground ball into right field, a base hit. Rounding third, headed to the plate is Navarro. With the gun is Markakis. The throw toward the plate, and out at the plate is Navarro. Now 13 assists from the outfield last year for Markakis. Third base coach Tom Foley, despite the lack of speed by Navarro, tried to get him in from second base, and a 1-bounce throw right there to Wieters, who applied the tag, and Navarro is out number 3 at the plate. And still the Orioles lead at 1-0 after 3 here at Tropicana Field on the Orioles Radio Network. Very good third inning for the Orioles. Adam Jones with his first home run to give the Orioles the first run of the ball game. And then as in the bottom of the third, as Tampa Bay tried to even the score, Zobrist gets his second hit of the night into right field, but then the arm of Nick Markakis cuts down Leonard Navarro trying to score from second base. He did it with a perfect throw. 1 bounce to Matt Wieters. Wieters waiting for the sliding catcher to apply the tag. Here's Luke Scott. Luke walked his first at bat on a very good at bat and takes the first pitch low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Great defense, fun to watch. And the first guy that was waiting for Markakis when he got to the dugout was, you guessed it, Kevin Millwood.
And the 1-0 delivery to Luke. 2 balls and no strikes, down and away. Hey, taking yourself and the family to the ballpark, take it easy. An MTA local bus, light rail, or Metro subway will save on gas and parking while you save yourself from traffic. Ride MTA and go home a winner every game. 2-0 to the left-handed bat of Luke Scott, DHing tonight in the season opener. And Luke swings and misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Luke Scott, 25 home runs last year, had that great first half. And then he had that amazing run where he was American League Player of the Week. Remember in late May, in that week, he hit 6 home runs and drove in 14 runs. Scott drills one high and deep to right center field. Here's his first of the year. It's going, gone. Second home run of the night. Luke Scott belts it deep to right center field. And the Orioles on 2 solo home runs. Jones and now Scott lead the Rays 2-0 in the top of the 4th. Now the sound of Luke Scott's home run is booed by the fans here at Tropicana Field, but welcomed by Luke and the Baltimore fans. Scott's home run brought to you by Chapin Davis Investments. Let Chapin Davis help you get an investment home run. For more info, call 800-222-3246 or go to chapindavis.com. Matt Wieters hits one to right field between the first baseman and the dive of second baseman Rodriguez for a base hit. So Luke Scott homers, and now Matt Wieters singles. Felix Piet will step in. Felix struck out his first at bat. Oriole left fielder getting the shot to play in the opening game because the Rays had a right-hander on the hill tonight in James Shields. Of course, Nolan Reimold would be the guy that you might think would be out there in left field, but Reimold, with a right-hander on the hill, he's on the bench right now. Here's a drive deep to right center field. Piet has lit it up. The ball is hitting off the top of the wall. Here comes Wieters rounding third. The throw toward the plate will not be made as Wieters is held up late by Juan Samuel, and Piet, who lit one off James Shields, winds up at second base. So the Orioles igniting a couple here in the inning. The first one, Luke Scott, went deep to right center field and out of here, and this one hit just below the yellow line above the padding in right center field. And Felix Piet with a two-bagger. The Orioles, with nobody down, have runners at second and third.
Well, I was trying to watch where that ball hit out there, but it was a bad camera angle. We couldn't see it. But he had to come within inches of getting one out of here.
The Orioles lighting up James Shields. Runners at second and third, already a run in, and here's Garrett Atkins, who took a called third strike, his first at bat, pops it up behind second base in shallow center field. Out is Rodriguez, and he is there to make the grab. One gone, so the runners hold at second and third. Garrett Atkins, who worked the count full before taking that called strike three, his first at bat, goes after the first pitch this time and pops for the first out. Cesar Torres watched the called third strike on a 2-2 delivery. His first at bat. That was when Shields had a string of 4 consecutive strikeouts, as Torres was the third of the 4. Switch hitter bats from the left side with runners at second and third. The good speed is the trail runner, and PA at second base. Wieters at third, and the delivery to Torres way outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Shields has now thrown 63 pitches as he works to the Orioles in the top of the 4th. 1 ball, no strikes to his Torres. Has a chance to pick up 2 more for the Birds. Orioles shortstop bounces one toward first. Pena backhands, looks. Wieters back to third, and the first baseman touches the bag for out number 2. So the Orioles with that runner at third base and nobody out. Still see Wieters standing at third base, hands on hips. Still PA at second base, but now 2 gone. And Brian Roberts, who has flied out and struck out, will step in.
Well, Atkins was a key guy. Second, third, nobody out. First pitch. He's looking fastball. Looking for a ball he can drive, get the ball out of the infield. He got one. He just didn't get under it enough, and he popped up. He got under it too much, I should say.
Here's Roberts 0 for 2. The pitch to Bryant. High and away, off speed. And Roberts takes ball 1. Bryant taps both sides of the plate. It's from that first pitch side batter's box against the right-hander James Shields. Wieters at third, PA at second. 2 gone. And the delivery to Bryant catches the outside corner. So the count evens up, and a ball and a strike to Brian Roberts. But that pitch count still escalating. It's 66 now for James Shields, and we're only in the 4th. Shields looks into Navarro, gets the side, now steps off the rubber. Orioles started the inning with Luke Scott hitting the Orioles' second home run in the opener. Wieters singled, PA doubled, and a pop out by Atkins. Round out to first by Torres, and now the 1-1 pitch was about to be made, and Brian Roberts requests time, adjusts the batting gloves before stepping back into the batter's box. Now Brian is ready to go, and Dana Dubuque says we're ready to play ball again. With Wieters at third and PA at second. 2 down. The Shields delivery to Roberts, and it's fouled out of play off to the left side. Pitch came up and in, and Roberts fouls it off. Roberts struck out swinging, the 4th in that 4 consecutive strikeouts for the Orioles in the 3rd inning. And now Roberts takes a little bit of a walk before he settles back in. And Roberts, as we mentioned, did not have a lot of at-bats this spring. Bat a little slow.
Yeah. He's rusty, and he got a breaking ball at 78, and he hung it, and still Roberts couldn't put that ball in play.
Here's the delivery on the way to Roberts upstairs. He doesn't chase it this time, as Roberts kind of spins the shoulder That pitch might have been tempting, but he held back, and the count is even at 2-2. Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Top of the fourth, 2 out and 2 on. Shields with runners at second and third delivers to Roberts 2-2, and Roberts fouls it out of play off to the left side. Trying to get a gauge on the speed of the pitches, and normally here at Tropicana Field they have a big mile-per-hour sign, but we are not seeing it registering tonight here at the Trop to see what kind of speed and what either pitcher's doing. So 2-2 to Roberts.
Well, this is a real big at bat in this game. It's early, but it's a big at bat.
2-0 Orioles. The A is at second base. Wieters at third. 2 out. The 2-2 pitch to Brian Roberts, and Roberts swings and fouls it in and out of the glove of Navarro. And so Roberts will take a little bit of a walk as he has an extended at bat here against James Shields. Roberts is a guy that we see, at least in the past, do it often, where he has a very good at bat, fouling off pitches, and more often than not will come up with that big base hit.
Well, if Roberts gets a hit here, he's going to make Atkins and Izturis feel a whole lot better about their at bats.
Yeah, at second. Wieters at third. 2 down. The 2-2 pitch to Roberts, and another bouncer foul, and an extended at bat continues. And now Navarro's going to go out to talk to James Shields to talk over what they're doing to try to get Brian Roberts out.
Yeah, there's another breaking ball at about 79, and now the shortstop Bartlett comes in he wants to know exactly what they're thinking out there. Again, first base is open. The Orioles had a 2-0 lead. They had second and third with nobody out. And now they got second and third with 2 outs, so this is a big at bat.
Now the Orioles have hit 2 solo home runs. Jones and Luke Scott. Jones is 2 for 2 tonight. He waits on deck. Roberts again awaits the 2-2 delivery. Runners at second and third. 2 down the pitch to Bryant. Fly ball center field. Here comes Upton. He hesitates. Now he comes in and makes the grab before it hits the turf for the final out. Now the Orioles do get a run, but they could have had more as they leave runners at second and third. Luke Scott hitting the Orioles' second home run of the night gives them the run. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning at the Trop. It's the Orioles 2 and the Tampa Bay Rays nothing on the Orioles Radio Network.
This is 105.7 The Fan, your home for Orioles baseball.
Kevin Millwood will go to work here in the bottom of the fourth with the 2-0 lead. He's thrown 51 pitches to the first 3 innings. Struck out Evan Longoria, the first of the 3 strikeouts he's recorded. He did that for the final out in the first inning. Longoria struck out on a high 3-2 pitch. Goes after a pitch inside, swings and misses. Strike 1. Well, Longoria just had a terrific year last year. Won the Gold Glove, the Silver Slugger Award as a top hitting third baseman. 33 home runs, 113 knocked in. Here's a high fastball, and Longoria lays off. 1-1 to the third baseman.
You know, Fred, you mentioned Longoria struck out earlier.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to the right-handed batter. Down and away. Doesn't chase a pitch that might have easily been a pitch to go after.
And you had to love the way Kevin Millwood approached that strikeout, because it was a classic example of a veteran doing exactly what he wanted to do in a particular situation.
2-1 pitch. Longoria hits it high in the air, but very playable. Felix Piet waits for it to come down as he looks up into the Teflon roof and makes the grab for out number 1. So Longoria's 0 for 2.
Because remember, the Rays had a runner at second base with 2 outs, and Millwood fell behind Longoria with first base open, 3-1. After that, he never gave him another pitch to hit, and yet Longoria twice swung at bad pitches to strike out.
Hey, on the SK Out of Town scoreboard at Fenway, after the Red Sox made that comeback Sunday night to win their season opener against the Yankees, they have taken a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the third against A.J. Burnett and the New Yorkers, with Victor Martinez hitting a home run in the bottom of the third. Of course, his first of the year. Here's Carlos Pena. He watched strike 3 his first at bat. The delivery of the left-handed batting first baseman in there for strike 1.
You know, Fred, the story in that Boston Yankee game is the fact that A.J. Burnett is the Yankee starter, and he is pitching to Jorge Posada, something they did not do that much of last year because they quarreled publicly. They just did not get along.
Yeah, already some questions about Posada behind the plate after that pass ball the other day.
He had a bad defensive game on opening night at Fenway Park.
Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way to Pena, up and in as it rocks him back from the plate, 1-1.
I think the last time A.J. Burnett pitched at Fenway Park with Posada catching was last summer. He lost that ball game 14-1. He gave up like 11 hits and 3 home runs in that game in about 5 innings.
1-1 delivery to Pena, upstairs again, and Pena delays off, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And it was after that game that they actually quarreled publicly. It got in all the newspapers. The next 12 starts, A.J. Burnett made, Jose Molina caught.
And he was the personal catcher after that. 2-1 to Pena. 39 home runs last year, 100 knocked in. And the delivery to Pena. Check swing. No, he went around too far. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good off-speed pitch, and Pena couldn't hold back. 2-2. Pena, we mentioned, he is prone to hit the long ball, but also prone to strike out 163 times last year. His first at bat was a strike 3 looking. Now it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Kevin Millwood, his first year as an Oriole, making his 7th opening day start. Made 4 for Texas, a couple for the Philadelphia Phillies, and now number 1 for the Orioles. The 2-2 delivery on the way to Pena. High pop-up. And this one goes up toward the lights, and foul ground is Atkins. It looked like he said, I don't know where it is, but Brian Roberts backs him up and makes the grab in foul ground. Atkins went over toward the stands, and as he looked up into the lights, the hands went out saying, where is it? But Brian Roberts was right behind him by a couple of feet and wound up making the grab.
Yeah, Roberts was there to save the day. That's a very difficult play in this ballpark with the lights and the catwalks and the smoke. And the roof, that's a very tough chance. Roberts was in the right spot at the right time.
And now B.J. Upton, he grounded out unassisted to Atkins. Cued one off the end of the bat his first trip. Orioles lead at 2-0. Solo home runs, Jones and Luke Scott. Millwood on the way to Upton. It's in there for a strike. An addition here at Tropicana Field. If you look up to the second ring of catwalks, dangling from the second ring right down the foul line, a foul pole now. To better judge whether a ball was fair or foul. Good off-speed pitch that Upton go around too far. No, says first base umpire Kerwin Danley. 1 ball and 1 strike. Upton was kind of fooled, but managed to hold back.
Yeah, I think it is the only disjointed foul pole in the major league.
Yeah, you got that big space from catwalk number 1 to catwalk number 2. Right-handed batter is B.J. Upton. And the Millwood delivery to B.J. Swing and a miss. Again, he came in off speed, and B.J. Upton is in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, Kevin Millwood is a guy that knows what he's doing out on the hill, and you can watch it as you see him make his Orioles debut. The 1-2 delivery to Upton will not be coming, as Upton looks at his bat and says, hey, I've got a problem here, and he gets a new piece of lumber. On Sunday, remember, the Orioles will host the Blue Jays at 1:35 at the Yards. First 10,000 fans will receive a plush cow presented by Chick-fil-A. Tickets start as low as $9. Sunday is also the first Junior Orioles Dugout Club of 2010. Get your family summer started off right with a great afternoon of Orioles baseball. For tickets, call the Orioles at 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. Sunday, Kevin Millwood will be on the hill against Sean Markham. 1 ball, 2 strikes to B.J. Upton. New bat in hand, and Upton goes after a high fastball. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom of the 4th. That is the 4th strikeout for Millwood. And the Orioles, after 4 at Tropicana Field, lead the Rays 2-0 on the Orioles Radio Network. After 4 innings, the Orioles 2 runs on 5 hits. They've left 5 for Tampa Bay against Kevin Millwood. No runs, 4 hits. They've stranded 3. We go to the 5th. Here's Joe Angel.
All right, Mr. Manfred, thank you. Adam Jones having a big night. A double and a home run. Leads off against Shields. Here comes the pitch. And Jones takes a little bit too low. No, in there at Denise. I beg your pardon. That is a called strike, and so the count is 0-1. Well, it was back on May 12th of last year in a game against Tampa Bay. Here's the pitch. Jones, a check swing, and this one is... No, he did not check his swing. On the appeal, the Rays get the call, so Jones in the hole now at 0-2. Yeah, last year against Tampa Bay on May 12th was when Adam Jones came up with the first multi-home run game of his major league career. Well, he's got one tonight. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, but no. This time on a foul tip, it looked like, and the ball that was in the dirt. Somehow Jones got a piece of it, stays alive, and the count stays at 0-2. Yeah, his first time up tonight, a double. And then on a wonderful at-bat in the third inning, from 0-2, he got the count to 3-2, and then a couple of foul balls to stay alive, and then the opposite field home run. Now he takes the ball down at his feet. So it was just a terrific at-bat for Adam Jones, who has gone 2 for 2 tonight. On deck is Markakis. After him, Miguel Tejada. Orioles here with a 2-0 lead, and now the 1-2 delivery. Jones swings and misses. Might have been the changeup that time. Well, that ball disappeared on Jones, and Shields picks up his 5th strikeout. That'll bring up Nick Markakis. Oriole fans, Kelly and Associates Insurance Group is saving lives in our community by donating $1,000 to their Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center every time an Oriole pitcher records a save. So Mike Gonzalez is going to be a very important guy. Thank you, Kelly and Associates Insurance Group, for helping to save lives. Now here's Markakis, and he takes a knee-high strike. Good fastball there. The Orioles here with a 2-0 lead in the 5th, 1 down, bases empty. Nick in this game is 0 for 1, a ground out and a base on balls. And now he takes a changeup low and outside a ball. Even up 1-1 to Nick Markakis. Tampa Bay defensively, Longoria, Bartlett, Rodriguez, and Pena are on the infield, with the catcher Navarro, Crawford, Upton, and Zobrist in the outfield left to right. And the pitch, Markakis slices one to left center, racing over Crawford. He cannot get to it. It's a gapper. It's on the track. It's up against the Budweiser sign. And there goes Markakis racing into second base. A stand-up double as Crawford gets it back in. So the Orioles here, another extra base hit. Markakis in the hit column for the first time this season. Now let's see if Miguel Tejada can pick him up. Tejada in this game is 0 for 2, a pop-up and a fly ball. And on each occasion, he had a run around base. Right-hander against right-hander. Orioles a 2-0 lead. So here's Tejada with the infield backed up. The outfield against Tejada right now playing very straight away, medium depth. And a fastball is in there for a call strike. Right-hander James Shields was at 81 pitches. And we're only in the 5th inning. Tejada digs in. Shields delivers. Miguel hits a ground ball hard to third, but right there is Longoria. And Tejada is retired 5-3. Markakis holding at second base. And now it's up to Luke Scott to get this done with 2 outs. Now Luke, his first time up tonight, had a great at-bat and wound up getting a walk. Very patient at-bat. His second time up, he hit one that if the ball had been hit at Camden Yards, and had he pulled the ball, it would have been on Utah Street. I mean, he absolutely launched it with the bases empty back in the 4th inning.
But he hit 4 of them out there last year on Utah Street.
This man is strong. Shields delivers. Luke takes off speed in there for a call strike. Luke Scott, the left-handed lumberjack hitter.
Yeah, chops wood in the offseason.
That's what he does. That's keeps that strength up. Last year, 25 bombs in 128 games. Ground ball hit back at first. Pena scoops it up. He will run to the bag and the side retired. Well, the Orioles have had opportunities so far, but so far tonight, just a couple of runs on bombs with the bases empty. So we head to the bottom of the 5th. Orioles here with a 2-0 lead, and this is the Orioles Radio Network. Here come the Rays now, bottom of the 5th inning. They got the bottom of the order. Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Right-hander Kevin Millwood delivers to Pat Burrell. He misses low and outside. Ball one. Burrow, and then Rodriguez, and then Navarro. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters against Millwood. Here comes the 1-0 delivery. In there for a called strike. Millwood in this game has allowed just 4 hits. 3 of them came in 1 inning. Here comes the pitch. Burrow lines it over second. That's a base hit right center on the turf. Markakis cannot get to it. It's on the warning track out there. Markakis picks it up. There goes Burrow into second base. A stand-up double to get the bottom of the 5th inning started.
Well, that was a pitch right about where a hitter wants it. Belt high, and Burrow didn't miss it. As Markakis tracked it down before it got to the base of the wall, and Burrow winds up at second.
And I hear Sean Rodriguez, the number 8 hitter. Orioles a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Middle of the infield backed up. Miguel Tejada at third base, backed up just a bit, and now backing up a little bit more. Millwood delivers, and Rodriguez swings right through a fastball. Well, they count 0-1. You know, the Orioles with a 2-0 lead, but in the game tonight, they have gone 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, so they've had numerous chances and have not been able to cash in. Not yet. There's a swing and a foul ball just off the end of the bat. So the count to Rodriguez is no balls and 2 strikes. Millwood, we mentioned, gave up 3 hits in the 3rd inning, and yet the Rays could not score thanks to a marvelous defensive play by Nick Markakis to get that 3rd out at the plate on a fine throw. And now the 0-2 delivery. Rodriguez swings and he chops it foul. Stays at 0-2.
13 assists from Nick Markakis last year, and that was just a terrific throw. And Matt Wieters just was waiting for Deoner Navarro, the catcher, trying to score.
Well, he knew the base runner, so he took his time, picked up the ball beautifully, and then threw a one-hop strike to Wieters, who made a sweeping tag to prevent that run and end the inning. Millwood would love to get the strikeout here. The count 0-2. Kevin delivers. High fastball. He wouldn't chase. 1-2 now to the Tampa Bay second baseman. Sean Rodriguez, we mentioned, came from the Angels in that Casimir trade. He was with the Angels last year for about 12 games. Next pitch in the dirt and blocked nicely by Wieters. And in 12 games, he did hit a couple of home runs for the Angels.
Yeah, in 108 minor league games last year, hit 30 home runs and drove in 98.
Well, they think that this kid Rodriguez is going to be an everyday player. Sean Rodriguez, right-handed hitter. Millwood has him at 2-2. Now the right-hander delivers. There's the strikeout he wanted. Swing and a miss. And maybe a fastball, maybe a cut fastball. Clocked at about 85. And Rodriguez went right through it. That is a big strikeout and what they call an unproductive out.
Yeah, he did not advance that runner with nobody down and a runner at second base. You at least want to get him to third.
Well, that's what he was attempting to do. And they weren't going to bunt him over. And now here's Navarro with first base open. Deoner Navarro is switch hitter, and he will hit left-handed against Kevin Millwood. Orioles here with a 2-0 lead. Rays have a runner at second base with 1 down. Here comes the pitch. There's the bunt, and it's a dandy. Third base. The ball makes a left-hand turn. It trickles foul, and then picked up by Millwood about 2 inches foul. So a good bunt. Tejada was backed up. Had the ball stayed fair, it would have been a bunt single.
And Millwood came off the mound quickly and had that hand up telling Miguel, let it go, let it go. And as soon as it went foul, Millwood picked it up.
And now Tejada is going to play about even with the bag at third base. Well, Fred mentioned Navarro a couple of years ago had an all-star season. Last year, he disappeared. I mean, not only offensively, he had about 218, but defensively, he struggled.
Yeah, he only threw out 23% of the base runners last year.
Millwood, a check of the runner at second base. Here comes the pitch. Fastball just a tad high and inside.
And they were not happy with the way he was calling games. Last year, the pitching staff a disappointment for the Tampa Bay Rays. After their big year in 2008, they expected a bigger year in 2009, and it was not to be.
Millwood delivers, and Navarro takes a fastball up and in again. Remember, now first base is open. You do have Jason Bartlett, a right-hand hitter, coming up to hit next. We told you Millwood last year was better against left-hand hitters than he was against right-handers. And again, Tejada very shallow at third base. Here comes the 2-1 delivery, swinging a fly ball. Felix backing up and got plenty of room. Pierre makes the catch, gets it back into third, and Burrow holds on at second. And now Jason Bartlett comes up to hit with 2 outs. On the SK scoreboard, mentioned at the end of 4 now, Boston leads the Yankees 3-1. Victor Martinez has the game's only home run. For the Red Sox, John Lester pitching. Lester with a career record of 3-1 against the Yankees. And he's trying to give the Red Sox their second victory in that series. Red Sox on Sunday night in the opener with a marvelous come-from-behind victory. After earlier in the game, they were embarrassed when the Yankees executed a double steal and they stole home. The Red Sox were made to look real bad on that play, and yet they came back and won that ball game. Now here's Jason Bartlett. Orioles here with a 2-0 lead in the 5th. Pitch on the way. Bartlett will take just outside for ball 1. Bartlett tonight 1 for 2. His first time up, ground ball to third, and then a single and was stranded in that 3-hit third inning. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. That ball was down and away. It looked like Bartlett tried to pull that ball. Just kind of waved at it. So the count even up at 1-1.
You watch the velocity on Kevin Millwood, most of it mid-80s, but some pretty good movement on those pitches.
Think about his command. His right-hander delivers again. This one way outside, so the count 2-1. Well, you got to be 35 years of age, and you win 155 games in the major leagues. You pick up a lot of savvy. And Millwood certainly has that. Here's the pitch. Swing shot to third. Past the diving Miguel Tejada. Up with the ball is Felix. Here comes Burrell. Here comes the throw to Wieters. The ball gets past Wieters. And going into second base is Bartlett. It is now 2-1. The ball got there in time, but Wieters got a very tough in-between bounce, and the ball got past him.
And it looked like Burrell went through a stop sign as Foley had that left hand up, like saying, stop, stop. And Burrell just looked down at the ground and kept running. And enjoyed the bounce.
That's just a very tough chance for Wieters. I mean, Felix Pierre made a very strong throw. But he gave Wieters a very tough in-between bounce, who tried to catch it and make a sweeping tag at the same time. He just never came up with the ball. But the ball did get there in time. And now here's Crawford with a runner at second base, the tying run with 2 outs. So Jason Bartlett, who last year drove in 66, picks up his first this season. Crawford stands in. Here's the pitch. Strike on the inside corner. It's called. Crawford tonight 0 for 2. Twice he has flied to Felix Pierre. On deck is Ben Zobrist. Very tough out. But there are 2 outs here. Millwood sets again and delivers to Crawford. Check swing at a high fastball. They're going to appeal to third, and they do not get the call.
Now, after 5 innings, 83 pitches thrown by James Shields, and now 83 pitches thrown by Kevin Millwood with 2 out and a runner at second and a run in here in the bottom of the 5th.
Now Millwood again from the belt. Delivers. Crawford swings right through it. So the count 1-2 now to the Tampa Bay left fielder. Well, the ball that was hit by Jason Bartlett was absolutely smoked. Miguel Tejada diving toward the hole, almost got a glove on it. And that ball whizzed right past him. Crawford waits on a 1-2 pitch. And here it comes. Inside, backed him off the plate with a breaking pitch. The count 2-2. Also in the American League, Minnesota is going to be at the Angels later tonight. The Angels won the first game last night. Millwood delivers. High fastball. But Minnesota The last 20 games they played in Anaheim, they have gone 5-15. So for some reason, the Twins struggle in Southern California. Runner at second base is Bartlett, and right now he's the tying run. Orioles ahead 2-1 in the fifth. Millwood okays at the belt and delivers. Fastball up and in. He walked him. Well, first walk given up by Millwood tonight. And now he's going to have to deal with Ben Zobrist, who, as far as the Orioles are concerned, is the toughest out in the Tampa Bay lineup.
He's already had 2 hits tonight, a double and a single.
And last year against the Orioles, he got 407. So it'll be right-hander against left-hander. Orioles ahead 2-1. Bartlett out there at second base. Crawford is at first with 2 outs. And now the Oriole bullpen begins to scurry. Millwood delivers. Swing and a miss. Looked like a changeup. First pitch. And Zobrist way out in front. Millwood gets ahead 0-1. Looks like Albers. Looks like Matt Albers is out there getting loose. Millwood checks second again. Here comes the pitch. Zobrist takes a high fastball. And this guy was Tampa Bay's MVP last year. As they say, last year he did it all. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. Fly ball slicing left field corner behind the picnic area, foul ball. So it is 1-2 now to Ben Zobrist. Tampa Bay with 2 aboard here in the 5th inning. Orioles ahead 2-1. Millwood rubs up a brand new ball and now toes the third base side of the pitching rubber. Zobrist digs in. Millwood standing tall takes a look. Right-hander still looking. Still looking. Still now he says yes. He's at the belt and delivers. Swung on and dribbled foul behind the catcher. Looked like he threw him another changeup.
Yeah, he was out in front and he just tapped it straight down. Well, last year, Zobrist hit just about every spot in that lineup except 9th. But this year, at least early, it looks like he's going to be a fixture in the number 3 hole for Joe Madden.
Well, he's a great on-base guy. He puts the ball in play. He's got power. Last year, 27 home runs and drove in 91. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Fastball skied. Should be caught. Felix coming on. Going out Cesar. Piet is there. Makes the catch and the side retired. So they lead 2. And against Millwood, they settle for 1. And at the end of 5, Orioles are ahead 2-1 on the Orioles Radio Network.
Now back to the Baltimore Orioles on 105.7 The Fan.
Well, fans, there are some tickets available for opening night, Friday night, Camden Yards, but they can only be purchased as part of an Oriole partial season plan. So do it now. I'll give you a phone number, 888-848-BIRD, 888-848-BIRD, or you can log on to Orioles.com. Let's get right back to Fred Manfred.
Well, thanks a lot, Joe. Matt Wieters up. Wieters is first at bat as he takes ball down and away from James Shields. Hit one to deep center field. An outstanding running grab by B.J. Upton took extra bases away. And then he singled his second at bat. The delivery to the Orioles switch hitting catcher. Off-speed pitch downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes to Matt. Orioles, both of their runs tonight coming via the home run. Adam Jones and Luke Scott going deep. The Orioles have collected 6 hits against Shields. They've left 6 on base. The delivery to Adam, I should say to Matt Wieters inside. So 3 balls and no strikes now to the Orioles catcher, leading off in the top of the 6th inning in a 2-1 ball game. Shields with the shift on for Wieters, takes a fastball in there for a strike. Second baseman Sean Rodriguez is in shallow right field. The shortstop Bartlett to the second base side of the bag at second. Longoria, the third baseman, in the shortstop's position, is swinging a foul out of play off to the left side. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Matt. Hey, Orioles fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan marketplace of the Baltimore Orioles. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. 3-2 to Matt Wieters. The delivery on the way from Shields, and Wieters hits one high and deep to right field. Zobrist will watch this one fly out of here. The Orioles have hit 3 solo home runs tonight against James Shields. Jones, Scott, and now Matt Wieters hits his first of 2010, and the Orioles lead it 3-1. Remember last year in his rookie year, Matt Wieters hit 9 home runs. He got hot late in the season. So Matt Wieters goes deep against James Shields, and the Orioles have a 3-1 lead. Felix Pie has struck out and doubled. And the pitch to the left-handed batter, swing and a miss. Pie just missing a home run. He came away from the batter's box very awkwardly after that swing and a miss. Now he walks back to the first base side batter's box. Now Felix steps in with a 1-strike count. And the delivery to Pie shows bunt, pulls back as Longoria, who was deep, charges in. But the pitch was down and away, and Pie just let it go by. Now Longoria will talk to James Shields before going back to third base. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Orioles. 3 of those 7 hits, home runs. Adam Jones, Luke Scott, and Matt Wieters going deep tonight for the Orioles. James Shields, the right-hander, delivers to Pie, swing and a miss, off-speed pitch, and Pie swings over top, 1-2. Orioles here tomorrow night and Thursday night before opening day, 3 p.m. on Friday against the Blue Jays at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Tomorrow night, Jeremy Guthrie and then Brian Mattis to follow on Thursday night. The 1-2 delivery to the left-handed batter, Pie. Strike 3 called. As that one broke over the dish. Pie thought it may have been a little high and outside, but home plate umpire Dana DeMuth rings him up. A half dozen strikeouts now for James Shields. At one point between the second and third innings, 4 consecutive strikeouts for Shields. But now he gets number 6 for the first out here in the 6th. Aaron Atkins, looking for his first Orioles hit, will step in. He watched strike 3 back in the second and then popped out to the second baseman in the 4th. The Shields delivery to the right-handed bat. It's in there for a strike. Fastball. Fastball at 90. Atkins, a right-handed batter with a wide-open stance in the third base side batter's box. And the Shields delivery to Atkins, a broken bat off the fist toward the bag at second base. Up with it is Rodriguez. He throws to first, 2 down. Torres will step in now. Torres has taken a called third strike and grounded out to first. Kevin Millwood giving up just 1 run tonight in his Orioles debut. Came in the bottom of the 5th. He's given up 6 hits. He's notched 5 strikeouts and 1 walk tonight against the Rays. Torres bounces it deep in the hole at short. Bartlett feels he will have no play as Torres breaks out of that first base batter's box quickly. And Bartlett went high into the air like to make a jump throw and then figured, well, I'm not going to throw this one away, and put it in his pocket. And Torres with a base hit. SK out-of-town scoreboard. Yankees have come up with 3 in the top of the 5th to bounce on top of Boston 4-3. The only home run in that game, the Red Sox Victor Martinez. He hit it in the 3rd against A.J. Burnett. John Lester pitching tonight for the Red Sox. Here's Brian Roberts. Roberts 0 for 3. Hit the ball in the air twice and struck out once. Torres short lead at first. The delivery to Brian outside with a fastball, 1-0. Activity begins in the bullpen for the Tampa Bay Rays, and their only left-hander is up, Randy Choate. Shields gets the sign from Navarro. Shields delivering his 99th pitch of the ball game. Torres at first base following his infield hit with 2 down, and the delivery. Brian Roberts takes the off-speed pitch down and in, 2-0. The Rays have, as we mentioned, just 1 southpaw in that bullpen. Their other left-hander is on the disabled list, and that's J.P. Howell. They expect him maybe early part of May. They're hoping it might be the end of April. He's on the DL with a fatigued left shoulder. Remember, he was key for them in the bullpen last year. He did it all for Joe Maddon out of the bullpen last year, but right now he's on the DL. Toss over to first base. Is Torres back? 2 balls, no strikes to Bryan. Shields with pitch number 100 on its way to Brian Roberts. And the delivery, and Roberts slashes a foul on the line out of play left side. 2-1 to the Orioles second baseman.
Yeah, you're right about J.P. Howell. I mean, he's a guy that, as you said, very valuable out of the bullpen last year, but he's a guy with a great changeup. He's got great stuff, so it makes him equally effective against right-handers and left-handers. And you have a guy like that in the bullpen, for a manager, it makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, you don't have to match up. You just put him out there and say, here's the baseball, go get him. Shields looks over his shoulder at Izturis at first base. Quick throw over there, and Izturis just gets back before the tag applied by Pena. Got back on a dive. 2-1 to Bryan. Orioles with 3 solo home runs today. Adam Jones, Luke Scott, and Matt Wieters for their 3-1 lead. Shields holds the set away from the letters, now delivers to Roberts, and Roberts takes a strike on the outside corner to even it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. James Shields in his career 6 wins and 2 losses against the Orioles. Right now the Birds with a 3-1 lead, top of the 6th. Izturis walks his lead from first base. Shields ready to deal 2-2 to Roberts. The Shields 2-2 pitch. Izturis running down and away to Navarro's throw to second, not in time. Stolen base for Izturis. Izturis had the foot on the bag before the high throw and the tag put down by Bartlett. Mentioned that Navarro last year trouble throwing out base runners. Izturis got a big jump, and he took second base with his first steal of the season. Last year, a dozen steals for Izturis. So he's in scoring position. But the Orioles today, 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And Roberts with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Izturis at second base. The pitch to Bryan. Roberts pops it up. Foul ground, third base side, coming near the coach's boxes. Longoria, and he makes the grab for the final out. So the Orioles now 0 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position, but they do get a run. The leadoff home run by Matt Wieters, and the Orioles go to the bottom of the 6th here at the Trop, leading Tampa Bay 3-1 on the Orioles Radio Network.
Spring.
Well, Evan Longoria 0 for 2 tonight against Kevin Millwood. We'll have an ID coming for you very shortly. It's Longoria, Pena, and Upton. Numbers 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup against Kevin Millwood, who's thrown 91 pitches tonight. The delivery to Longoria. First delivery from the veteran right-hander to the youngsters in there for a strike. Longoria, terrific year last year. One of the best young players in the game. The delivery to the third baseman hit high and slicing foul and out of play off to the right side. So 0-2. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Orioles Radio Network. Millwood with the 0-2 count delivers high and away and out of the strike zone, and Longoria does not chase. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matt Albers for a second time begins the toss in the Oriole bullpen. The 1-2 pitch to Longoria, breaking ball, swept foul third base side. I want to thank everybody on the Orioles Radio Network, up to 43 stations across the network lines, as we welcome a station in Delaware and Bethany Beach, the latest to join. Pitch inside. I guess a couple of stations from North Carolina came on board last week. Orioles now with a station in the District of Columbia. We'll give you more after this. The 2-2 pitch. High drive deep to left field. No doubt about this one. Way back. It's going, and gone. A home run to the second level here at Tropicana Field. Longoria popped out 33 of them last year. Number 1 of 2010 comes in his third at bat. And it's now a 3-2 ball game. Orioles on top. That is the 4th home run between the teams tonight.
Home run number 1 on a 2-2 count.
Well, he hit it on a 2-2 pitch. And if we were outside and it was a cloudy night, it would have brought rain. That's how high and deep that one was. Yep. I said second level. That one looked like it landed in the wall behind the second level.
Again, that's Longoria's first home run on a 2-2 count.
And now here's Carlos Pena. Yes, the Orioles have hit 3 home runs tonight. The Rays get their first. Pena bunts at third base side with the shift on, and it's going to go for a base hit. Well, the Orioles had the 3 infielders to the second base side of the bag with Miguel Tejada, the third baseman, playing his old spot around the shortstop side. And Pena, who tonight was 0 for 2, gets his first hit of the season via the bunt. Third base side as it stayed fair as it went down the line. And he crosses everybody up with that bunt base hit.
Well, in football, they call that taking what the defense gives you. By the way, the Longoria home run, that's a home run that Jason Hayward would have been proud of.
We saw that one from him for Atlanta. Well, Rick Kranitz comes out to talk to Kevin Millwood now. We mentioned Matt Albers throwing in the Oriole bullpen. We're telling you about the number of affiliates now on the Oriole Radio Network, up to 43. Station in the District of Columbia, 16 in the great state of Maryland, 14 in Virginia, 6 in Pennsylvania, 3 in West Virginia, 2 in North Carolina, and now 1 in Delaware. The Kranitz visit to Kevin Millwood is over. And the Orioles ahead 3-2. But Tampa Bay with nobody out following the bunt base hit by Pena. He's at first base. And now B.J. Upton, who has grounded out and struck out, comes up. Orioles would like to turn the double play. Upton lines it into left field. That will drop in on one bounce in front of PA. Stopping at second base, Pena. So with that pitch count now at 100, this inning has featured lots of loud base hits and lots of loud contact by the Tampa Bay Rays. That home run by Longoria, a massive home run, and that will do it for Millwood. As Matt Albers is ready in the bullpen. Orioles skipper Dave Tremblay coming out. Well, this call to the bullpen brought to you by the Hilton Ball.
Joe Angel, Fred Manfra back at Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg. Orioles are ahead by a score of 3-2. And that does it for Kevin Millwood. He throws exactly 100 pitches in his Orioles debut. He goes 5+, has given up a couple of runs, 9 hits. He had a walk and 5 strikeouts. And, of course, the 2 base runners, Pena and B.J. Upton, are his responsibility. Now, Matt Albers coming on in relief. Albers had an outstanding spring and made the ball club when Koji started on the DL. Let's get back to Fred Manfra.
Yeah, Albers went 1-0 with a 2.57 in the spring, and Pat Burrell, the DH, takes the first pitch way outside. Remember last year it was a strange year for Albers, looking for a good season. Did not have a good one. In fact, 4 different times an Oriole, other times down at the AAA level. So Matt, hands together, runners at first and second, no one down. The pitch to Burrell misses down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. So Matt Albers takes over for Kevin Millwood, who had allowed 1 run through 5, but here in the 6th, Evan Longoria, massive home run to lead off. And runners at first and second, nobody down. Burrell hits a ground ball toward short. It's Torres to Roberts for 1, on to first. The much-needed double play. Moving to third base goes Pena as that double play 6-4-3, and now 2 gone with a runner at third. Sean Rodriguez will come up. So now Albers going to get the final out and end this thing as Albers induces the double play on the first batter he faces out of the bullpen. Rodriguez looking for his first hit as a Tampa Bay Ray here this season in 2010. The pitch on the way, high, in ball 1 to Sean Rodriguez. Pena's at third base, 2 down, a run in, 3-2 Orioles. We're in the bottom of the 6th at the Trop on opening night. 4 home runs total, 3 by the Orioles. And the delivery to the right-handed batting Rodriguez. He checks the swing but takes it in there for a strike. The Orioles have had Adam Jones go deep. Luke Scott hit a round tripper. Matt Wieters a home run. And for the Rays, Longoria a round tripper. And Jason Bartlett with an RBI single. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way to Rodriguez with a runner at third. Rodriguez bounces it foul third base side behind third base coach Tom Foley. 1-2. Mentioned Rodriguez, former prize prospect in the Angels system. Scott Kazmir traded to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and in return they get the right-handed batting infielder. He's in the hole 1-2 as Albers sets. The pitch on the way to Rodriguez, down and away, and he doesn't chase. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So a pretty good pitch. You know, Fred, you look at Albers, he looks good, man. He's lost some weight.
Yeah, well, I can remember late in September, Dave Tremblay talking about the fact that Matt Albers in the offseason had to lose some weight and get in better shape. And he heeded the skipper's warning. The 2-2 delivery with a runner at third and 2 gone, and Rodriguez swings and misses. He strikes him out. What a job done by Albers. He inherited runners at first and second and nobody down, induced the double play, and then strikes out Rodriguez for the final out.
You see, Albers gave it a tiger fist pump as he ran off the mound.
Well, he knows that he has to deliver, and he gets a high five to the guys in the dugout. So just 1 run on that mammoth Longoria home run. We go to the 7th inning here at the Trop. Orioles 3, Rays 2 on the Orioles Radio Network. A terrific job done by Matt Albers, picking up for Orioles starter Kevin Millwood, and here it runners at first and second, induced a double play ball, and then Sean Rodriguez a strikeout to bring an end to the inning. Terrific night for Adam Jones so far. The Orioles center fielder takes the first pitch for a strike. Adam, his first at bat, a double. His second at bat, his first of the Oriole 3 home runs tonight. And then he struck out his third look at James Shields, who continues on, throwing his 105th pitch. Bouncer hit slowly towards short, charging his Bartlett. The barehanded juggle, and safe at first base is Adam Jones. Well, that ball just caromed, bouncing slowly on the artificial surface. Bartlett came in, tried the barehanded pickup, juggled it for a second, and once he did that, no way he was going to get Adam Jones. So Jones with his 3rd hit of the night, an infield hit.
Yeah, earlier Bartlett caught a ball in the hole, but he caught the ball on the heel of his glove, and he couldn't make a throw. That time he tried to make a bare hand grab, and the ball ran up his wrist.
Now Joe Madden coming out. It looks like we're going to have James Shields head to the dugout and a new pitcher come on for the Tampa Bay Rays. As Shields leaves trailing 3-2 with a runner at first and nobody out for the Birds here in the 7th. The sellout crowd, many come to their feet as James Shields leaves the mound, and we're going to have a right-hander. No, check that. The left-hander, Randy Choate, to face Nick Markakis. And it'll be lefty against lefty. And let's pause for these messages.
As far back as anyone can remember.
So Choate becomes the 4th pitcher to see action tonight. Each starter has now left the ball game as Shields started for Tampa Bay. Kevin Millwood for the Birds. Looks like Lance Cormier beginning to warm in the bullpen for the Tampa Bay Rays, a right-hander. So Choate's job to get Nick Markakis. The pitch to Nick, in there for a strike. Markakis has doubled, walked, and grounded out to first tonight as the Orioles open the 2010 season. Nick Markakis is 0 for 2 in his previous looks at this 34-year-old southpaw from Texas. Markakis lines it foul, just foul down the left side. It went beyond the cutout of the infield about 10 feet. And Oriole fans hoping for the chalk mark to be hit by that baseball, but it was just foul by a couple of inches down the third base side. So it's an 0-2 count. Choate does not overpower you. It gives you a lot of breaking balls and different arm angles. Adam Jones reached on the infield hit to chase James Shields, who goes 6 innings plus, throws over 100 pitches. Choate will go to first base as Adam gets back. 6 strikeouts, 3 home runs given up by Shields tonight. Adam, Jones, Luke Scott, and Matt Wieters all going deep for the Orioles. Orioles lead at 3-2 here in the 7th with nobody out and Jones at first. Choate dangles that left arm as he gets the sign from Navarro. The southpaw delivers to Markakis. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Pitch down and away. That breaking ball. So Nick is gone. And we'll see if Joe Madden comes out of the dugout with the right-handed bat of Tejada coming up. Wow, they just give us the estimated distance on the home run for Longoria, 473 feet. I guess the third longest home run hit here at Tropicana Field. Unbelievable. That ball was just smoked. So now Tejada gets a chance to go against the left-hander. Jones still to first with one out, and Tejada late swing and a foul off to the right side. Miguel Tejada has had a couple of official looks at Choate. 0 for 2 with 3 walks.
Boy, you can see Tejada, though, intentionally trying to hit the ball to right field.
Now there's that big hole between the second baseman and the first baseman.
Yeah, trying to take advantage. That's a good job of hitting and almost succeeded.
Jones hands on knees at first base. One gone. Tejada looking for his first hit in his return to the Birds. And Miguel bounces it to third. Longoria backs up, goes to second for one. The throw to first, they turn the double play. 5 to 4 to 3, and a nice job done by Longoria backing up. And also by Rodriguez, who got a hard slide from Jones, and he threw true to first base. So Choate does his job, striking out Markakis and then getting the double play ball off the bat of Tejada. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Orioles still on top, 3-2 here at the Trop on the Orioles Radio Network.
All season long on the Orioles Radio Network. Seal it happen. This is 105.7 The Fan, your home for Orioles baseball.
Well, back here at the Trop, bottom of the 7th, and Matt Albers, who did a terrific job picking up in the 6th inning after Kevin Millwood gave up the leadoff bomb to Longoria, then base hits to Pena and Upton. He got the double play ball on the strikeout, and no more runs coming across the plate in the 6th for the Tampa Bay Rays. He faces Navarro, the first batter here in the 7th, and Navarro takes ball 1 upstairs. Clay Meredith now throwing in the Oriole bullpen. And the delivery to Navarro in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Navarro has singled and skied out. Back in the 3rd inning, he was the final out of the inning as he tried to score from second base on a base hit to right field off the bat of Bartlett, but gunned down at the plate by Nick Markakis. Switch hitting catcher on the 1-1 pitch, lines it into right field. He has his second hit tonight. Pitch it was up, and he jumped all over it. Leadoff single here in the bottom of the 7th for the Rays. Kevin Millwood goes 5 innings tonight, plus 3 batters, giving up 2 runs on 9 hits, 5 strikeouts, a walk, through 100 pitches, giving up a home run. James Shields, 6 innings plus a batter, 3 runs, all earned, 9 hits, 6 strikeouts, couple of walks, 3 home runs to Oriole hitters tonight, 107 pitches. Jason Bartlett's had 2 more hits tonight. Delivery to the right-handed batting shortstop in there on the inside corner for a strike 1. Bartlett hit .320 last year. It's a Tampa Bay record average-wise. Hit 14 home runs, knocked in 66. Previous season was the MVP of the Rays. Right-handed batter, and the delivery to Bartlett. Oh, weak swing and a miss. Good pitch, as he was totally fooled by that breaking ball. Boy, Bartlett just he didn't know what to do with a weak swing, and Bartlett in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Good pitch by Matt Albers.
Yeah, with that swing, he's glad he didn't hit the ball.
And the 2-strike delivery with Navarro at first will not come as Albers steps off the rubber. Matt Albers works from the first base side of the slab. Gets the side from Matt Wieters. Oriole right-hander hands together at the belt. The delivery on the way to Bartlett. And Bartlett does not go after this pitch down and away and holds back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bartlett's had a couple of hits in 5 previous looks against Matt Albers. And Matt, 27-year-old Texan. The Albers 1-2 delivery to the right-handed batter, and again tries to get him to go after that pitch outside, just missing on the outer portion of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawford on deck. The left-handed Will Oman warming in the Oriole bullpen. Also Clay Meredith has joined Oman. The 2-2 delivery on the way to Bartlett with a runner at first base, and Bartlett takes a strike three called above the knees on the inner portion of the plate. So Bartlett was frozen by that pitch as he caught the inner portion of the dish just above the knees. Great location. And Bartlett is the second strikeout tonight for Matt Albers, and that will be the last batter Albers faces here. As Will Oman with the left-handed bat of Carl Crawford coming to the plate. He will take over on the hill for Matt Albers. This call of the bullpen brought to you by the Hilton Baltimore. A long fly ball.
Skipper Dave Tremblay has made the conventional move here because the left-hand hitter's coming up to hit. Left-hander Will Oman is coming on to pitch. Matt Albers was throwing the heck out of the ball. He's at great location with a couple of strikeouts and a big double play ball, but it's going to be lefty-lefty. And what complicates matters is that Ben Zobrist, who is a switch hitter, is coming up to hit next. And maybe with that in mind, Clay Meredith continues to warm up in the Oriole bullpen. Let's get back to Fred Manfro.
Well, thanks a lot, Joe. So the lefty-lefty, Will Oman against Carl Crawford. Crawford has never seen Oman. Oman, a free agent minor league signing by the Orioles in the offseason. And the pitch on the way to CC, a swing and a miss, a breaking ball, and a little bit off speed. And Crawford goes over top. One strike to Crawford. He has walked tonight. Also a couple of fly balls to his Oriole counterpart, Felix Pie, in left field.
Now you wonder why Crawford would swing at a first pitch breaking ball like that. He got fooled.
And Oman with a runner at first base and one gone delivers to Crawford down and away, and Crawford does not go after a pitch in the dirt. Nice block going down on both knees and smothering the ball. Matt Wieters, a ball and a strike. Oman last year with the Dodgers, 21 games, 1-0, but he had lots of arm problems last year. He had been with the Cubs and the Braves prior to the Dodgers. Oman on the way, lefty to lefty. Crawford is bent back from the plate by a pitch. Looked like a breaking ball that didn't have break to it, and it came chest high and inside.
Yeah, Wieters set up outside. Oman threw that ball well inside, so he missed his spot by a couple of feet.
Oman is a 32-year-old, born in Germany while his dad was in the military. First year as an Oriole. Navarro at first base, one down, and time requested by Carl Crawford. Crawford hit over 300 last year for the Tampa Bay Rays, making his 8th consecutive opening day start for Tampa Bay. The Orioles southpaw to the Tampa Bay outfielder as Oman kicks and delivers, and Crawford lines it right to the shortstop as Torres, but looks over to first base. Navarro not far enough off the bag to throw, so hit hard, but right to his Torres for out number 2. Now Ben Zobrist. He's trouble from either side of the plate.
Well, I guess they want him to hit right-handed.
Well, last year, Zobrist hit .319 as a right-handed batter with 9 of his home runs as a right-handed batter.
Pick your poison, huh?
Yep. 9 of his 27 from this side of the plate. Straightaway stance. Zobrist batting as a right-handed batter for the first time as single, double, and skied out. And the pitch to Zobrist, and he takes it for a strike at the knees outside corner. Fastball at 92.
Yeah, good location too, at the knees on the outside. Tough to get to. Zobrist wouldn't hack at it.
2 gone, a runner at first base. Orioles with a 3-2 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning. Oman drops the hands below the belt, looks at Navarro, the runner at first, now kicks and delivers to Zobrist. Breaking ball misses inside to even it up at 1-1. Miguel Tejada, Oriole third baseman, just a few feet off the line, third base side. Outfield kind of straight away against Zobrist, the switch hitting right fielder. 27 home runs last year for the Rays, their MVP. The 1-1 delivery, and Zobrist sees one in the dirt, and another nice block by Matt Wieters as that ball bounced in front of the plate, and Wieters got it on a short hop, and Navarro stays at first base.
That one hurt. That caught Wieters on bare skin.
Oman, the third Oriole pitcher tonight. Millwood, 5 innings plus 3 hitters, giving up 2 runs on 9 hits. Matt Albers, a terrific job out of the bullpen, an inning, but he's responsible for the runner at first base, Navarro. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Zobrist, bounce toward third. Tejada will go down on a knee, spin 360, throw to first, out at first base, utilizing that gun of an arm. They just get Zobrist at first base. hit hard, and Tejada had to go to his glove side left, down on a knee, did a 360 spin, and then gunned it across for the final out. Rays leave a runner at first. We go to the 8th inning. It's the Orioles 3, the Rays 2 on the Orioles Radio Network. Well, we go to the 8th inning. Orioles ahead by a run, 3-2 on opening night at the Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. And as we go to the 8th, once again, here's Joe Angel.
All right, big boy. It'd be a good idea to get a couple here. Luke Scott leads off. Scott and then Wieters and then Felix Pierre against left-hander Randy Choate. Orioles are ahead 3-2. Scott tonight has had a walk. He has homered and a ground out, so he's gone 1 for 2 officially. He takes a slow breaking ball, just a little bit low for ball 1.
36,973. 36,973.
Well, we're getting the attendance figures tonight. 36,973. It is a sellout. Scott takes a knee-high strike. Although this game did not sell out until yesterday morning.
Yeah, they've cut down the number of seats in this ballpark for baseball. At one time, they had over 45,000 seats to fill, and they did it. Their first game here at Tropicana Field.
Luke Scott, 1 ball and 1 strike. Orioles are ahead 3-2. Here's the pitch. And Luke looked out. Almost got drilled by that pitch down around his feet. With the count 2-1 now. On deck is Wieters. And then Felix Pierre. Tampa Bay with Longoria backed up at third base. Bartlett and Rodriguez backed up the middle. Carlos Pena back of the bag at first. Dioner Navarro has caught the entire game. Crawford in left, Upton in center, Zobrist in right. Here's the pitch. Well, chopper, first base side. Pena gets a good bounce, and then he'll take the out himself. Well, and now here's Matt Wieters with the Orioles ahead 3-2. Here's the down on the farm scoreboard from Royal Farms. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms. The schedule, Norfolk will be hosting Durham on Thursday, 7:15. Bowie is hosting Richmond on Thursday at 7:05. Frederick will be at Lynchburg on Thursday at 6:05. That Norfolk team is going to be loaded.
Now Lance Cormier will come out of the bullpen, a right-hander, as he will work to the switch-hitting Matt Wieters, who homered his last at-bat. Let's take a look at the SK out-of-town scoreboard. At Fenway Park in Boston, they are now deadlocked at 4 runs apiece. The Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. The lone home run, Victor Martinez, getting his first of the season. Over in the National League, top of the 6th at Houston. The Giants have just scored 3 times, still at bat in the top of the 6th, leading the Astros 3-0. Top of the 5th in Milwaukee, the Colorado Rockies trailing the Brewers 4-3. Later will be San Diego at Arizona in the National League. Coming up later in the American League, Minnesota at the Angels, and Seattle will be at Oakland. You know, 1 week from tonight, you can celebrate the first T-shirt Tuesday of the 2010 season at Oriole Park as the first 10,000 fans 15 and over that night at the Orioles-Rays game will receive a Matt Wieters Baltimore T-shirt. Now, tickets start as low as $8. Buy yours in advance and save. Call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. And don't forget, the Orioles will have their home opener, 3:05 first pitch Friday. And Brad Bergeson will be on the hill for the Birds. And there are a handful of tickets still available for that home opener and can only be purchased as part of an Orioles partial season plan. Ticket representatives are waiting to hear from you right now at 888-848-BIRD. And don't miss your final chance to buy tickets for Friday's home opener. You can get it through a 13-game plan. Check in at Orioles.com or call that number 888-848-BIRD. Now, the guy who will be the T-shirt Tuesday guy next Tuesday at the Yards, Matt Wieters, coming to the plate. Let's get back to Joe Angel.
I've heard Matt Wieters was picked up against Tampa Bay where he left off last year. Remember last year in a few games against Tampa Bay, in 10 games he had 405. He had that one game in September against Tampa Bay in which he drove in 5 runs. Well, tonight he has homered and he has singled. He's gone 2 for 3. As he digs in, he takes a strike as Cormier catches the knee on the outside corner. And against Wieters, Tampa Bay's got that infield shift. Well, the shortstop, Jason Bartlett, is well to the right of second base. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. Wieters takes the ball up and away. The second baseman, Sean Rodriguez, is in shallow right. And Carlos Pena is backed up almost to the edge of the outfield turf in back of the bag at first. So that's severe infield shift. Here's the pitch. Wieters takes a ball that runs in on the hands.
Dan Wheeler.
The count 2-1. Right-hander Dan Wheeler is now warming up in the Tampa Bay pen. Jim Johnson warming up in the Oriole bullpen. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Wieters at the binder of the shortstop, who backs up Bartlett on the edge of the outfield turf and throws out Wieters. So he hit the ball right at the shortstop, who was playing about 15 to 18 feet to the right of second base. And actually, Bartlett had to back up to try to field that ball, made a backhand grab, and then made the good throw. Now with 2 outs and no one on, we'll bring up Felix Pié. Now, the Orioles here tonight have hit 3 home runs. Felix Pié came within inches of what would have been a 4th Oriole home run tonight. He settled for a double. Here's the pitch. He feigns a bunt, and he pulled the bat back and takes too low. 1 ball and no strikes.
We've seen Felix show bunt a couple of times tonight. Something we didn't see an awful lot last year.
Yeah, not a bad idea. We saw it in spring training. I mean, Felix, the cat, he can fly. El Gato. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Half swing, it'll cost him. He got fooled. Count even up at 1-1. Orioles are ahead 3-2 in the top of the 8th inning. 2 gone, no one on. And the pitch on the way to Felix, a little bit low. So now 2-1 to Felix Pié. Defensively, Tampa Bay
6-3.
plays Felix to swing late in the outfield. He's got a big gap in right center. There's a swing and a bounder back of the bag at first base. Pena to his right, and the underhand toss to Cormier to get the out. And that's it. So in the 8th inning, the Orioles send only 3 men up there to hit. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rays are coming up, but the Orioles ahead 3-2 on the Orioles radio network. Back at Tropicana Field, Jim Johnson coming on the pitch in the bottom of the 8th inning with the Orioles ahead 3-2. The Oriole bullpen tonight has been marvelous. So let's see what Jim Johnson is up to, coming off a disappointing season last year. Here's Evan Longoria to get things started. Johnson delivers, and Longoria takes a strike. Good pitch right there at the knees on the outside corner.
Well, he's back in that more comfortable setup role out of the bullpen now. No longer the closer.
Now the 0-1 delivery. Longoria swings late, slices one foul. Longoria tonight 1 for 3, an absolutely mammoth home run that was measured at how many feet? 473. 73 feet. My goodness. Hit one to the back of the upper deck in the left field corner. My goodness. Now the changeup looked like low and outside a ball. Well, Jim Johnson last year in a total of 64 games. His record out of the bullpen was 4-6. He wound up with a 4.11 ERA. Check swing and the ball in the dirt. They're going to appeal, and they get the call. And Longoria has struck out on what I thought was a very generous call by the first base umpire, Kerwin Danley. I do not believe that Longoria swung the bat.
Yeah, Longoria jumped up in the air when he saw Danley go up with that right arm. He couldn't believe he was called out.
No, they show the replay in slow motion. In slow motion, it always looks like the guy swung.
Yeah, it does.
Well, now here's Pena, so Johnson gets a big strikeout. Now Pena would come up to hit with the bases empty. Orioles ahead 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pena, an infield single, a bunt single back in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss here against Johnson. Yeah, he came up with the bases empty in the 6th inning after Longoria had hit that home run almost 480 feet. And against the infield shift with the third baseman Miguel Tejada playing over at shortstop, Pena bunted the ball right to the bag at third base, and the ball stayed fair. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. Swung on, dribbled foul behind Wieters.
Well, Joe Madden has his closer, Rafael Soriano, the big money guy, up and throwing in the bullpen to face the Orioles in the 9th.
What a ball game. I mean, the Orioles right now lead this thing 3-2. And the only scoring they've done in the game tonight have been on bases empty home runs, all 3 of them. They have gone 0 for 8 in this game with runners in scoring position. But Millwood was very effective in his Oriole debut. And the Oriole bullpen tonight has been outstanding. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just off the outside corner, a fastball.
Well, Matt Albers came in when the ball game could have turned in the favor of the Rays, and he did a terrific job as he induced a double play and a strikeout to not allow any more runs in that 6th inning.
Remember, he came up with 2 on base and nobody out after Longoria had homered earlier. And yeah, a big double play ball, big strikeout. Will Oman came on with men on base. He got 2 big outs. As the ground ball hit back of the bag at first base, Atkins will scoop it up, and then he will run to the bag and get the out himself. Pena retired by his counterpart. Out number 2, and with the bases empty now, it'll bring up B.J. Upton.
Number 2, B.J. Upton.
For a real good ball game tonight, Nick Markakis prevented a run early in the game with Millwood pitching on a perfect throw to the plate to get Dioner Navarro for the 3rd out. Miguel Tejada tonight made a sensational play in back of the bag at 3rd. Now here's Upton. He backs away in a breaking ball that's inside for ball 1. Upton is 1 for 3, a ground out, a strikeout, a single for B.J. Upton. Jim Johnson ready and delivers again. This one just a little bit low. They count 2 balls and no strikes. Miguel Tejada very shallow at 3rd base. Upton a very good bunter with outstanding speed. So Miguel trying to take that away. Here comes a 2-0 delivery. In there at the knees. That is a called strike. Fastball there at 93 with some pretty good sink to it. And the count 2-1. The shortstop Cesar Izturis is playing well over toward the hole. And now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Upton slices one foul off to the right. So the count 2-2 now to B.J. Upton.
5 at bats for B.J. Upton against Jim Johnson without a base hit. Now he's 1 strike away from putting B.J. away.
On deck is Burrow, but there are 2 outs. Upton with 11 home runs last year. And now time is called. A late timeout granted by the plate umpire, Dana DeMuth. Jim Johnson was already in mid-motion when that timeout was granted. So they'll start over again with the count 2-2. Johnson into his motion, and he delivers. Upton swings and he hits a bounder at 3rd base. Tejada to his left, has it, throws it, got him. Side retired. And again, Tejada with that strong arm, and that's what got him the out. That ball was not hit hard. And so Johnson comes out of the bullpen, and the Oriole bullpen tonight has been sensational. As J.J. gets him 1, 2, 3. And so we head to the 9th with the Orioles ahead 3-2 on the Orioles Radio Network. All right, here we go. Joe Angel, Fred Manfra here in St. Pete. Baseball indoors, opening night. What a ball game. What a ball game indeed. Orioles are ahead 3-2. They've hit 3 bases empty home runs. And now Soriano will come on to pitch. Interesting, Fred Manfred. Joe Madden using his closer in a game on opening night in which he trails by 1 run in the 9th inning.
Yeah, you just wonder what's going through Joe's mind. I'm sure he'll talk about it after the game, but he could be used tomorrow night, the night after. But here he is trying to keep it at a 1-run disadvantage.
Right now he's trying to save a 1-run deficit here. Here's Atkins to get the inning started. And he takes a knee-high fastball for a called strike. I'll tell you what, this guy Soriano, he can deal.
Yeah, Soriano's not a spring chicken. He's 30 years of age. Last year, 27 saves with an ERA under 3 for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, he's got a real good arm. Meanwhile, Mike Gonzalez, the Oriole closer, is now warming up in the Baltimore bullpen. Here's the pitch on the way to Atkins. A little hard-breaking ball. Atkins tempted, but lays off, and the pitch just outside. 1-1. And again, the umpires in the stands thought that should have been a called strike. So the count to Atkins is 1-1. Tonight, Atkins in his Oriole debut is 0 for 3, which includes a strikeout, a pop-up, and a ground-out. Now he takes another slider, and again just off the outside corner, so the count 2-1.
Remember, before going to Atlanta in 2007, he had pitched for the Seattle Mariners for several seasons, and then got the opportunity to close last year most of the time for the Atlanta Braves. And this year trying to do the same for the Tampa Bay Rays.
And now the windup. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Atkins swings and misses. Now the ball that looked like dropped off a table against him, and he went right over the top of it. So the count 2-2. That was not a real good swing.
And a pitch at 94 miles an hour.
Boy, some severe sink to it. Nasty pitch. Made Atkins look bad. But it only takes one for the count 2-2. Soriano looks in. Infield backed up. Orioles ahead 3-2. Ninth inning. Here comes the pitch. Atkins sends a fly ball right field. Racing back is Zobrist. Racing back, he'll jump up. He cannot make the play. He plays the carom. Atkins racing into second base, and he slides in safely. A double to get the top of the ninth inning started in a one-run game.
You know, welcome to the Orioles. Garrett Atkins, his first Orioles hit, and the Orioles get that leadoff man on in the ninth and to second base.
I'll tell you what, Cesar Izturis here better be bunting. Not sure the Orioles here tonight have gone 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They've had numerous opportunities, and yet they've scored just on the 3 bases empty home runs.
Well, the whole infield for the Tampa Bay Rays discussing the fact that they're going to be looking for that bunt.
Well, if you're Cesar Izturis, if you lay one down, you got to make that third baseman field the ball. That would be Longoria. So let's see, Longoria might be staying back. We'll see what they do defensively. Soriano looks in, says yes. Right-hander sets and delivers. Cesar squares, pull the bat back and takes a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Izturis here tonight 1 for 3. An infield single and a stolen base back in the 6th inning. Orioles ahead 3-2, 9th inning. Izturis a switch hitter, hitting left-handed. Soriano delivers. He squares again, and he bunts it toward third. It's a beauty. Longoria throws off balance and safe at first base. Cesar beat that one out. Pena had come in to field the bunt. The second baseman, Rodriguez, went over to cover. Longoria made an off-balance throw, a little bit wide. From here, it looked as though they may have gotten the out, but Cesar was called safe. We'll get a look at the replay here. Great bunt.
Yeah, perfect. As he forced Longoria to come in, and Longoria with that off-balance throw. Longoria picked it up glove and then fired to first, and Izturis, as he crossed the bag, signaled safe, and so did Kerwin Danley.
Yeah, and a good call, too, by the way. Cesar was on the bag when Rodriguez caught the ball. So there's an example of a guy trying to bunt, trying to sacrifice, trying to make an out, and yet after an outstanding bunt, forcing the third baseman to field the ball, as we said he should, hustling all the way, and he winds up with a base hit.
Well, big conversation on the hill for the Tampa Bay Rays. As was that Joe Madden went out there.
It is Madden, yeah. Soriano, they're talking over defense here. We'll see what Roberts is up to. We'll see what the Rays do defensively here. The runners on first and third after the bunt single, as it turns out. Atkins is now at third. A very big run out there. Orioles ahead 3-2. Roberts up there to hit left-handed. Digs in. Soriano delivers. Roberts sends a foul off to the left down there behind third base. And back amongst the fans on opening night here at St. Pete.
Well, the first pitch Brian saw from Soriano, the fastball at 93.
Well, if you're a hitter in that situation, that's the pitch you got to be looking for. But he was a little bit late. With the count 0-1. The Rays defensively are in at the corners and halfway up the middle. Here's the pitch. There's a foul ball off to the left again.
That one, the fastball at 94.
So he's getting fastballs. And Roberts has been late on both of them. In there now with a count of no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the middle of the infield about halfway. Roberts stands in. Runners on first and third. Orioles ahead 3-2. Soriano sets and delivers. And Roberts will take the ball up and in.
And that was another heater at 94.
Now the SK scoreboard in the 7th inning. San Francisco 3-0 over Houston behind Barry Zito. Tim Lincecum last night, his debut, went 7 scoreless. So he might be on his way to what would be a 3rd consecutive Cy Young Award. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Roberts had ideas, but he takes it just off the outside corner on a very close pitch to the count 2-2.
Well, Joe Madden has his bullpen active again, and the veteran right-hander Grant Balfour begins to toss.
Well, he doesn't want to stay with Soriano too long. He may need him, as we mentioned, tomorrow night. That's why we had to wonder why he would use Soriano in a one-run deficit here. Roberts with a count of 2-2. Big gap in right center. A lot of room in the right field corner. Here comes the pitch. Swing fly ball, right field corner. Racing over is Zobrist. Long run, the ball hooking. Foul. Lands behind the bullpen down there. And he pulled it just foul. But Ben Zobrist had to make a long run. If that ball had stayed fair, it might have been interesting.
Yeah, you figure that ball may have fallen in, and the Orioles improving their lead currently at 3-2.
Also in the National League in the 6th inning, Milwaukee leads Colorado 5-3. San Diego at Arizona in the 2nd inning. That's a 0-0 game in Phoenix. Here comes the pitch. Roberts hits a ground ball to third, knocked down by Longoria. He's coming home, and Atkins is tagged out. Longoria knocked it down, retrieved it, got rid of it, and Atkins is tagged out at the plate. Roberts is safe on a fielder's choice. Atkins running on contact. Longoria with a good stop, picked it up, and then made the good strong throw, and Navarro had plenty of time to make a sweeping tag.
And Navarro had that plate blocked, so Atkins had to try to slide third base side of home plate, but it was blocked.
So again, the Orioles unable to get that hit with a runner in scoring position. They are now 0 for 9 in those situations. And let's see if Adam Jones can end that frustration as he comes up with runners on first and second and only one out.
And guess what? Let's see, a triple shy of the cycle tonight.
He's had the infield single. He's had a double. He's had a home run. Tonight he's gone 3 for 4 on opening night. Right-hander against right-hander. Soriano delivers. Adams sends it foul off to the right. So the count 0-1. Adam Jones, remember last April, hit .359. In April last year, he led the league in runs scored. In 20 games, he scored 24 runs last April. As he got off to a sizzling start. And again tonight, here comes the pitch. There's a bouncy ball, double play ball. Up with the ball, Rodriguez to Bartlett, one, and the relay is off the bag. They do not get the double play, but they do get the middle runner at second base, as Rodriguez made a backhand stab of the ball and then shoveled the ball to Bartlett to get the out there. The relay was off the bag. A good relay would have gotten the double play.
Yeah, as Rodriguez went to the middle, he got that ball in the glove and didn't transfer it to the throwing hand, but kind of flipped with the glove high toward the second base, toward the shortstop Bartlett, who then threw a little bit off the bag at first base.
Well, now let's see if Markakis can get that big hit. I mean, no one has so far tonight. Orioles are now 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and yet they lead the ball game 3-2. And now Cesar Izturis is the base runner at third base with 2 outs. Adam Jones safe on a fielder's choice. There's a case where Adam hit the ball real hard, but the second baseman got to it. So here's Markakis with 2 outs. And the pitch on the way is a high fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Nick tonight a walk and a double. He's 1 for 3.
Well, so far we've seen that Soriano goes after you with that heat, the mid-90s fastball.
Well, remember last April, Markakis hit .381 in April in 22 games. Here comes the pitch in the dirt with a count 2-0 to Markakis. On deck is Miguel Tejada. Now, this may be a situation where, even though first base is occupied, in a 1-run game in the 9th inning, Soriano may not mind walking Markakis all that much. Even though it would put another base runner in scoring position, you do have Miguel Tejada, a right-hand hitter, coming up to hit next. Here's the 2-0 delivery, very high for ball 3.
Well, looking at Miggy's numbers against Soriano, he's 5 for 10 against Soriano.
And yet Markakis has yet to get a pitch to hit here.
Mm-hmm.
Soriano being very careful with Nick Markakis. On the count 3-0. I would imagine that Markakis has a green light here. 3-0. Here comes the pitch. Bad one. He missed badly. So that's almost like a a semi-intentional walk to get to Miguel Tejada, but now with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Well, Pena comes over to say something to Soriano. And Miguel Tejada, looking for his first hit in his return to the Orioles, has a chance here.
That's the thing. Miguel Tejada is 0 for 4 tonight, which includes a double play ball and a pop-up. So here we go. Right-hander against right-hander. Cesar Izturis is at third. Adam Jones is out there at second base. Great speed. Nick Markakis, he can run. He's at first with 2 outs. Soriano bent over at the waist, looks in, says yes. Tejada digs in. Here comes the pitch. Miguel, oh, look out, he almost hit him. It could be right now that Soriano just can't find the plate. He's not even close right now.
Yeah, he was very upset with himself with those pitches to Nick Markakis. And now he's facing a guy that's beaten him several times in the past, and he throws a pitch just out of the strike zone.
Yeah, it could be that Soriano has just lost his release point. I mean, right now he's missing by 2 feet. Miguel Tejada, 1 ball and no strikes. Infield backed up, outfield medium depth, and pretty much straight away against Tejada. Here's the pitch. There's a high fastball. And again, not even close with a count 2-0. And Soriano right now looking a bit befuddled.
Yeah, you can tell by the body language. He is almost looks like a defeated guy out there.
Well, Tejada's got to love this. 2-0 with the bases loaded. And now Soriano delivers. And Tejada takes a fastball under the elbows. And again, not even close. So the count 3-0. And right now, Soriano can't buy a strike.
And he walks slowly off the mound, gets the throw back from Navarro, climbs very slowly to the top of the hill. He kicks out in front of the rubber, but those shoulders are slumped like, man, I can't get the zone.
You know, Tejada with 14 home runs in the regular season last year. The count 3-0. Here comes the pitch. There's a strike, and he barely caught the outside corner. Barely caught it. And the crowd here at Tropicana Field with some mock applause for the count 3-1. Miguel Tejada last year, 199 hits in the National League. Here comes the pitch. In there at the knees, and that's a call strike. So Miguel Tejada is going to force Soriano to throw 3 consecutive strikes. Can he do it? And now the crowd here standing. They have all of a sudden become very vociferous. Bases loaded, the count 3-2. Orioles ahead 3-2, 9th inning with 2 outs. Soriano ready. And here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled away by Tejada. And he did not get a real good swing.
Yeah, another fastball at 94, and Tejada kind of just trying to get the bat on the ball, it appeared. He did not put that big base hit type of swing on that.
That was a live to see another pitch kind of a swing. Meanwhile, left-hander Mike Gonzalez continues to warm up in the Oriole bullpen. Miguel Tejada trying to drive in a big run here with 2 outs. The count 3-2. Soriano delivers. Tejada lines it down the left field line. Coming over, Crawford reaches up and makes a one-handed catch. That ball almost got past him. He misjudged it. At the last second, Crawford got there, reached out, made a lunging one-handed catch. And again, the Orioles cannot get the big hit. They leave them loaded, and they will go to the bottom of the 9th inning with a 1-run lead. 3-2 on the Orioles radio network.
On 105.7 The Fan.
Here we go. Here come the Rays, bottom of the 9th inning, and they've got the bottom of the order against left-hander Mike Gonzalez, with the Orioles ahead 3-2. Bat Burrell will get the inning started. Burrell and then Rodriguez and Navarro scheduled to hit against Gonzalez, trying to pick up a save in his Oriole debut. Here comes the pitch, and Burrell will take one right there for a called strike. Good fastball. Gonzalez did not have a good spring.
Remember, he had some back problems. He said they're gone, but the velocity was not there this spring.
Yeah, now the 0-1 delivery. Burrell takes a very high fastball. That one in 94, and we did not see that the entire spring. He said that once the regular season, the velocity would be there. He said he spent the spring working on a changeup. Here's the pitch. There's a changeup, maybe a breaking ball in there for a called strike, and that was a beauty right there. But Burrell was tempted but held up and took a strike. Last year with the Atlanta Braves, Mike Gonzalez ahead of Burrell 1-2, and here comes the pitch. And Burrell swings and misses, and down he goes. Fastball at 91, and Mike Gonzalez in a one-run game gets that big out against the first hitter.
Well, last year with the Braves picked up 10 saves and 17 opportunities, but the numbers were real good. A 2.42 ERA and just 56 hits and 74 in the third innings with 90 strikeouts.
Now here's Sean Rodriguez, right-handed hitter, and there's a fastball for a called strike. So Gonzalez throwing strikes, and he's got that velocity. He's thrown one good breaking ball and a couple of real good fastballs. Now the 0-1 delivery, line to left center, and that's a base hit. Felix cuts it off. Pierre gets it back into second base. And so with one out, the Rays have the tying run on base. And now we're going to see a pinch hitter.
It's Kelly Shopik, the right-handed batting catcher, former Cleveland Indian guy with some pop.
So he will hit for Navarro. Navarro in the game with a couple of hits. He was 2 for 3. Couple of singles. And now Kelly Shopik, who does have more power. In here against the left-hander Mike Gonzalez. Sean Rodriguez, the tying run on base at first, as Gonzalez sets again and delivers. Shopik will take a ball just inside.
Remember in 2008 for the Indians, Shopik hit 21 home runs. That production dropped to 12 last year for the Tribe.
Well, the last couple of years, Kelly Shopik has had the 4th most home runs in the American League by a catcher. Here's the 1-0 delivery. A little bit too high, the count 2-0. Remember, this guy is not a full-time catcher. And yet he does deliver with the bat. Kelly Shopik, strictly a right-hand hitter. Cesar Izturis and Brian Roberts up the middle looking for a double play ball. Miguel Tejada backed up at third. And now as Gonzalez goes into a set position, Shopik backs away at the plate. Up there with a count of 2 balls and no strikes. Gonzalez delivers. Shopik sends a high drive. Left center. Felix Pierre backing up. Looking up. He'll jump up. And the ball hits the wall. Jones plays the carom. There goes Rodriguez to third. And Shopik winds up at second base with a double. And the ball that just missed being a home run by inches. The Rays had runners on second and third. And now Joe Madden is going to come out to argue that it was a home run.
You know, Madden's going out there. Shopik, as he got to second base, extended his hands like, hey, what's going on here? I thought I had a home run. We watch on the replay.
I was watching the monitor. That ball didn't come close to leaving the ballpark. It hit the top of the fence and then came back in play. So it's a double. Tampa Bay now with a tying run just 90 feet away. And the winning run is out there at second base. And now they've got the top of the order coming up to hit with only 1 out.
And the Oriole infield will come in with runners at second and third and 1 down. And here's Jason Bartlett, one of the clutch Tampa Bay Rays. He will be intentionally walked.
So Tampa Bay is going to have the bases loaded. And the left-hander Crawford coming up to hit. It sets up a potential double play that could end the ball game. And it will be left-hander against left-hander. Well, Gonzalez came in and struck out the first man he saw. But then Sean Rodriguez hit the ball real hard for the base hit. And then Shopik off the bench as a pinch hitter almost won it with a home run. Came up inches short. And now after the walk to Bartlett, bases loaded, 1 out. It'll bring up Crawford. Remember now, the Orioles in this game have led all the way, but they have gone 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and that's why right now it's only a 1-run game.
Well, last year, left-handed batters hit under 200 against Mike Gonzalez, lefty against lefty here.
Well, I know that Gonzalez got real tough with men in scoring position last year, so let's see what he does here. Pitch on the way to Crawford is a high fastball. And Gonzalez up under Crawford's chin. That one not even close. 1 ball and no strikes. Crawford tonight 0 for 3 with the base on balls. And here comes the pitch. Fastball lined on the right field line. That's a base hit. Rodriguez comes in to tie it. Here's Schappe coming in, and the throw is too late, and that's the ball game. The Rays have won it on a 2-run single by Crawford in the bottom of the 9th inning. This is not the way to get the season started. Wow.
Late inning heroics for the Rays and late inning misery for the Orioles. As Mike Gonzalez, in his first opportunity to close out a victory, does not do it for the Birds here at Tropicana Field on opening night.
So Tampa Bay wins it. They trailed all the way in this game until the bottom of the 9th inning when Carl Crawford, with the bases loaded, 1 swing of the bat, ties it and wins it with a base hit. And Mike Gonzalez, in his Oriole debut, with not only a blown save, but he will also take the loss. And ironically enough, Fred Manfra, on a night when up until the 9th inning, the Oriole bullpen was absolutely marvelous.
Well, Matt Albers, Will Oman, and Jim Johnson, they were just about perfect tonight. But then, giving the ball to the closer in the bottom of the 9th, striking out Pat Burrell. But then things started happening on a negative side, and Carl Crawford has been a hero many times with his Tampa Bay ball club. Comes across with a bases-loaded hit to drive in the 2 that win it.
And again, they hate to keep harping on it, but the Orioles had numerous opportunities in the game. I mean, they did hit 3 home runs, all with the bases empty, but by the end of the game, they were 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position, so simply a case of not taking advantage of those opportunities. It kept Tampa Bay in the game, and in the bottom of the 9th inning, they found a way to win this thing, so we'll be back with the not-so-lovely totals right after this.
This is Brian Roberts on the home of the O's, 105.7 The Fan.
Joe Angel, Fred Manfra back at Tropicana Field. By the way, we've done a little more arithmetic as I took a closer look at my scoreboard, or my scorecard, and the Orioles were actually 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. The only hit they got in those situations was the bunt single by Cesar Izturis when he was trying to lay down a sacrifice bunt in the top of the 9th inning. So in the end, they were 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They just could not get the big hit when it really counted, and Crawford did for Tampa Bay in the bottom of the 9th inning. So the totals in this one, Tampa Bay, 4 runs and 13 hits and no errors. They stranded 9. Orioles had 3 runs and 11 hits and no errors. They stranded 10. Soriano wins it. Remember, Soriano got out of that bases-loaded situation in the top of the 9th inning. And Mike Gonzalez, the loser, he was not able to get out of that bases-loaded situation in the bottom of the 9th inning. So he'll take the blown save, and he'll take the loss as well. The time of the game, 3 hours and 2 minutes. And the attendance here tonight, 36,973. And Fred Manfra mentioned up until that 9th inning, the Oriole bullpen tonight was marvelous. And they were also marvelous defensively earlier in the game. And yet, in the end, and really that's why the closer is so important tonight for the Orioles, it just didn't work out.
Certainly a gut-wrenching loss. As you go to the 9th inning, you got your new closer in there trying to protect the 1-run lead. And Carl Crawford, the guy who almost was a GOAT with the bases loaded, that line drive off the bat at Tejada, looked like he was going to overrun it, but then reached up and made the grab, comes up to be the hero, and the Orioles are disappointed. Game 1 of 2010.
We're going to relive this game. The Orioles had led all the way until the bottom of the 9th inning, and it all began with the bases empty. Adam Jones in inning number 3. 0-2 to some of the third. Oriole defense came through with Kevin Millwood giving up 3 hits in the inning. Tampa Bay had a runner in scoring position when Ben Zobrist came up to swing it back. For the Orioles, it was indeed a gut-wrenching defeat. A night when Millwood turned in what should have been a winning performance. And the bullpen turned in what should have been a winning performance. Defensively for the Orioles, it was a winning performance. But the bottom of the ninth inning was not.
And the clutch hits didn't come when the Orioles needed them. They hit the long ball, but not the base hit that could have wrapped things up. And, well, all you can say is 161 to go. And tomorrow night, it'll be Jeremy Guthrie for the Birds and Matt Garza for the Rays. And I want to remind you, if you're heading out to Oriole Park at any time this year, and, of course, especially opening day on Friday, a 3:05 start, if you're thinking about taking your family to the ball game, think about the MTA. They'll drop you off right at Oriole Park and pick you up there, too, with MTA local bus, light rail, or Metro subway. Remember, and this is very important when you come to the Yards, parking and traffic hassles, they disappear. So the Orioles tomorrow night will try to get into the win column for the first time in 2010.
Yeah, hope you can join us then. Matt Garza will be pitching for Tampa Bay. And, of course, Jeremy Guthrie will be on the hill for the Orioles. We will have it for you. We'll be on the air at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Game time at 7:10 tomorrow, and we hope you can join us then. Till then, this is Joe Angel for Fred Manfra here in St. Petersburg. And we invite you to join the postgame show. Comes up immediately with Tom Davis and Dave Johnson. Have a wonderful day tomorrow, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night on the Orioles Radio Network.
The Orioles have been brought to you by these network sponsors. Bank of America, by Geico. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. Stay tuned for the Orioles All Access postgame show, next on the Baltimore Orioles Radio Network.
Now it's easy to spot the guys who do such a super job.